Hey, welcome. Okay, so sorry about the delay, guys. Had some stuff. I got to take a phone call. Got some good news. Got some bad news. The bad news is not that bad. The good news is even better than the bad news. But anyways, I know
It's not even really bad news.
It's not. Well, I mean, it's not really bad news. It's just, I wish things would be a little different, but it is what it is. But anyways, I wanted to stream tonight to answer some questions for you guys, especially the people that have been supporting me and the NonSequitur Show. I think you guys have a right to know what's going on. I've always promised transparency, and you're going to get it. But you guys will be the first to know. Unfortunately, the hearing for tomorrow will be postponed till Wednesday. But the reasons for why it's postponed are actually good reasons. They actually, for our benefit, essentially, they only have a couple days to get their crap together. Okay, the defense.
It's mostly for the benefit of the court,
yes,
not for the benefit of either Steve nor Kyle. It is for the benefit of the judge and their jurisdiction.
Well, it's not a jurisdictional issue. It is the court has to figure out how they
them as a group, not like a jurisdiction, like from one to the other.
Okay.
I mean, like them as a.
Yeah, the court is unusually in a situation right now. Obviously, with the hang on one second. Okay. They don't. When you have somebody who has done fraud against the court, there has to be certain things that need to be addressed, and so they're not. It's not going to be struck. It's not going to be struck because that would be something that would be basically saying, "Hey, we're allowing a fraud against the court," and so the evidence is going to be there. They have a couple days to just. They're going to say. Well, the judge is eventually going to say you have to Wednesday, both sides submit what you want. And by the way, OPT lawyer called this. He nailed it. He said that they're going to do a motion to strike. Actually, I said the same thing, and that in that motion, contingent upon if they don't get that, they want a continuance. The judge said, okay, you're going to get it to Wednesday, but there's a lot of other stuff they're dealing with the fraudulent stuff. And so we're going to go over that. We're going to go to the document, but there's some critical mistakes in her reply. This is all going to be public anyway, so it's not a big deal. We're still going to show you exactly what happened because why not? It doesn't matter. It's going to be on record. It makes no difference to the case because it's all the truth. But we're going to show you the last brief that she had and why it's bullshit. Because I can tell you right now, I've already put out on Patreon and I've already put out publicly. Here's the facts. Contrary to what Kyle and Unirock believe, because they're both fucking absolutely ignorant of what goes on behind the scenes, I can tell you absolutely that I never spoke to Ben prior to this last Sunday. And Ruhev had never talked to Ben. What happened there? Off camera? Did she wave? What happened there? Are you there, Chesh? There you go. Hello? Chesh, did I lose you? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. I'll continue then, okay? So anyways, so any narrative that we sat on information, because when we read this brief, she says we waited the last hour. We did not. We had just found out about Ben. He probably wasn't listening in. He first messaged me back in February and March. However, I did not get it. In one place, I did spell. I'm sorry, I misspelled her name. My bad. I will fix that right now because my OCD. So, when he tried to contact me back in February and March, he was told to take that down. Kyle didn't want it up, and so he removed it. I never got it. And matter of fact, you can see from the screenshots I'll show you that I never responded to him because I never knew. Now I knew about him, but I didn't ever talk to him. So let me fix your name right quick because I have your name spelled wrong. Chesire.
How dare you?
Right. I just want to make sure the fonts were right. So.
The fonts are what matter, not the spelling.
Yeah. Michael says $5. How delicious is being right? Oh, dude, you know I've been right from day one. In fact, this is just vindication. We all know that Kyle had lied from day one, and I will give you exactly what I think happened. Now, this is my opinion. I admit that, but what I think happened, and I've been saying this for a very long time, Kyle spent all the money. When Bull and I were asking him, and by the way, I have all these emails that will come out after the hearing. I'm not going to do it today, but those will come out after the hearing. All the emails of asking where the hell is the money kind of thing. And I think he panicked. And I think that he had to come up with an excuse why he didn't have the money. He started lying about having a CPA. He started lying about the Medi-Cal thing. He needed any excuse in the world not to pay me because there was no money to be paid. that snowballed. Now I am convinced. I am absolutely convinced that this whole him moving was a concocted story now. Now, at first, I did not know this. And let me make it very clear. When I said that we knew that he moved, that was after the fact. That after we served. I had no knowledge whatsoever of him moving prior to him moving. You know, but how could I didn't even talk to Kyle. What am I, psychic? Don't these people sit there and think to themselves, how does this happen? Steve served an old address knowing that he moved, even though I didn't have any way of knowing that he would have moved. Because, and by the way, he didn't move, found out. Super shock of nobody. But we have something, what's that word, principle of what, Chesh, that we talked about in Caffeine Corner?
Charity.
Oh, principle of charity, that my words were taken out of context. Oh, look, Steve knew that he moved. Yeah, because I believed Kyle. After he told people. Yes.
The name's still spelled wrong.
Did I? Oh my God. What the hell's wrong? Am I really?
You're too excited, dude.
No, what I did was I changed okay, in OBS you have the name of the asset. Yeah. And then the text. I changed the name of the asset. Yeah. Whatever.
We also got super chats. Michael, the Canadian Atheist, for 5 says, "How delicious is being right?" And Boy of Ink for 2 says, "Still shit, Chesire."
She sure.
And Hanson for 2 said, "Dang, I am one very happy pheasant today."
Yeah, congratulations.
He's
with Nadine too, so very happy to hear about that. Yes, they met on the NonSequitur Show. I fixed the spelling. It's correct right now, isn't it?
Being right.
Yes, okay. I had to check on the video. All right. So, anyways, let's get into this real quick. And by the way, like I said, I'll answer any of your questions that I can. I'm happy to do so. Chesire can back me up on it one way or another. She's been involved in all this stuff. Everything I've said from the day one has been freaking true. And the fact that is now coming out, yes, I'm happy about it. Ecstatically happy about it. Because before I couldn't prove it. The lease I always thought there was a problem with. I thought the signatures were very similar. The U and the T from Kyle's signature and Ben's signature were almost identical, that part of it. And Pot spells his name with 2 T's, not 1.
There's nothing like spelling your ex-boyfriend's name wrong.
Yeah, and so I always thought there was a problem with it, and it wasn't notarized, but I didn't know. And I will show you our conversations with Ben only because he gave me permission to, explicit permission. I've asked him twice, matter of fact, do I have permission to show this? Because you guys all know how anal I am about showing DMs. But he's like, yeah, he doesn't care. And all right, so let's look at the brief here that she just filed. Because if you guys want to look at the one that was filed the other day, go to Red's channel. He has a really great summary on it.
I'll get a link for you guys.
And I will go here and show this. Yeah, so yes, I'm extremely excited. I hate the fact that it was postponed, but you know what? I don't really care that much right now. I mean, this is a shoo-in win. There's no question about it. I mean, my lawyer is definitely not in any remote concern about it whatsoever. I'm looking at the criminal. I want criminal stuff. This is what the whole thing boils down to at this point. It's criminal to me.
You mean we get to watch a bunch of rejects spin themselves in circles for almost a week as we laugh our asses off for a whole?
No, they're not. You know what? I think that they're not. That's not going to happen. They know this was forged. They know Ben did not sign this stuff. There's really just no.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they're not going to spiral around in circles, grasping at straws, trying to figure out some way to still make you look like the dickhead.
I think the most diehard ones are probably going to say, "Well, Kyle was backed into a corner, and he must have felt like he had no other choice." Now, Ben and other people, he knows that Kyle concocted this whole thing. Oh, hey, look, I got a default judgment. How do I get out of it? Oh, I'll say that I moved. Whoever gave him some legal advice on that fucked him over, because it doesn't even matter to the court case. We would have won this on the merit of the case alone, even if it had nothing to do with Ben or the.
Kyle fell backed into a corner by his lying and stealing. Oh no! None of this would have happened if he hadn't done any of the things he did. Fuck you, Steve.
Well, and that's what it is. I mean, all he had to do was listen to Reds and I. I mean, all he had to do, he had a great thing, but no, when it came to his ego took over everything else, and nope, he was listening to people giving him bad advice that, hated me. Okay, that's great. It was good for me because they sucked at the law.
I am looking forward to, if they're going to drop Kyle and not even attempt at this point to figure something out or try and spin something, then they only have one real option to be like reasonable and legitimate people and come across like they were being legitimate and reasonable people, and that is to apologize, retract, and by apologize I mean I'm sorry, I was wrong, here's what I got wrong and why it was wrong. Retract it and say all of these things were incorrect, and then start doing stuff to make good to the fans.
I will do this.
And good luck with that.
I will do this. Like I said, I literally got off a conference call with my lawyer. He's 100% convinced.
And backtracking is not good enough for the amount of errors.
Well, like I said,
if you want to grant charity and say they were even errors,
I will do this. Like I said, I just got off a conference call with my lawyer. He's 100% convinced, that there's no possible way Kyle's motion will get approved. It's just that's not reality, okay? But that's not even what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about how it's going to be produced criminally if we can get it to the DA, because it's pretty damning evidence. But anyways, neither here nor there. I will do this. This doesn't apply to the group that I left a long time ago. Fuck those people. They can drop off the flat earth. I don't care. But the people that honestly thought Kyle was telling the truth, and that really wasn't like being too malicious about it, if they apologize, then yes, of course I'm gonna do my best to accept it, right?
Yeah, there's a difference between people who were creating content based off of this and people who were misled.
Correct.
There's a difference between people who are participating and assisting Kyle throughout this and people who believed people who talked to them and had opinions. You're not going to have to really be very sorry for being wrong. That's not a big deal.
Right.
But character assassination, making content and money off of this while being incorrect, while making content that is going to sit and stay there, you're now responsible for clearing that up.
That's exactly what I think.
And retracting and making it good to the fans, because how dare you fucking assist a thief and a lawyer for almost an entire year, shitheads.
You want to read Jeff's?
Yeah, Got the Scummer for 5 says Nathan Thompson and JM Truth were favorites for Dumb Fuck of the Year, but Player 3 has entered the game. Oh, you don't even know what I've got for this year.
And I have words with the Reds. We're actually in a bitter dispute right now on this, but that's okay. We'll get it resolved. I will win. Not Dumb Fuck of the Year, but I will win what I want, because his rules are there are no rules. I'm going to hold him to that. He's going to out veto me anyways. But Chesire has Player 3 coming in too. So anyways.
OPT lawyer said that Kyle's motion at this point is a formality.
Oh, yeah. We have no worry about it being dismissed. That is a non-factor at this point.
And Golden Unicorn for 5 says, do you think that your haters who donated to Kyle will ask for their money back?
No, as a matter of fact, I want to thank all of them. If they had not got him a lawyer, this would have been resolved, and we would have never discovered the alleged forged signatures of Ben and the zip code discrepancies. I mean, we would have been. Yeah, I knew about the signatures not matching. At least I thought. I was like, I can't prove this. Ben, when I showed Ben that, he literally said, "What the fuck? He forged my signature." He's like, "I never had a rental with him." Yeah.
There's being
hashtag Kyle's
suspicious.
lawyer is right, by the way. Look at. He's always
being
been right.
Suspicious of something and not presenting it because you don't know is also not the same as withholding.
Yeah,
and
I can prove it.
That.
No, I said I had reasons to believe that he didn't move, but here's the thing: that wasn't based on anything about Ben, because I just talked to Ben. That was actually one of other Kyle's ex-boyfriends, and I don't remember his name. I think it was Kurt or Kirk or something. I don't remember, but he had told me, and I think he was on the NonSequitur Show, or at least in the live chat at one time. On one of Kyle's episodes, but he told me that Kyle never moved, and so I was like, this is starting to fall in line. But I took Kyle at his word when he told other people, and other people were saying, yeah, Kyle lives with his boyfriend now. So that's when I said when I knew that he moved, that's what I was referring to. Anybody could figure that shit out. You don't spend a lot of money in a court case to try to serve somebody at the wrong address. It's just going to come back unservable. I mean, if not, I'm the greatest genius in the face of the earth, Machiavellian, and goddamn, if Uniright was right about a fraction, I would agree with him. I go, yes, I'm a damn genius playing 6D chess, bitch. But it doesn't work that way. Twitch TV Punisher, $20. Game, set, match. Where can I stand the soap on a rope?
Check the internal chat. But yeah, no.
Okay.
There's somebody asked, is faking tax for internal chat on me?
Can you send? Wait, can you send it? I don't want to show the internal chat because I have it. It'll show.
Oh yeah, I got you. Is faking tax forms a federal offense?
I don't think the tax form is fake. At least I have no confirmation of that. I think there's other things with that going on. Maybe. What am I looking at there, Chesh?
It's somebody's name. Unhide them.
Oh. All right. So so go. How about this? So you read this while I find them and I'll unhide them.
Yep. What am I reading?
The brief. It shall come up on the external in a second.
Oh, okay. Kyle really made a laughing joke of himself now, and I'm glad he brought Uni down with him. You mean Uni Rock Esquire did not know what the fuck
he even said, and you guys know this is true. I don't watch Uni Rock. I don't watch Nate Brody, but I did watch in the last couple of days. I'm fully admit this. The thing I saw from Uni Rock where he says, well, I don't know shit about the law or something like that. I'm like, shocking, really? To literally the surprise of nobody.
I like how he's trying to say, oh yeah, no, I was honest about not knowing the whole time, and he's throwing everybody, all of his mods and stuff, and anybody who helped him under the bus by doing that. The same thing he's done every other time. Yeah. There's no surprise here. William Peterson for 5 says, since North Carolina doesn't do punitive contempt, are criminal charges the only way to make the forgery turd hit the fan?
Unfortunately, yes. They don't do criminal contempt. Although, I mean, in theory, I think they could do a criminal contempt, but when I asked my lawyer this, he said in business court, as far as he's ever seen, they have not. Do they have the empowerment to? I don't know. That's a legal question I'm not prepared to answer. But he said that it would be a civil contempt that he hasn't turned things over, and that you need to a remedy for, which means you have to have the ability to rectify that. Does that make sense?
Right.
So you can't throw somebody in jail and not have an ability to have them get out. All they have to do to get out is comply. That's it. Very simple.
Right. Yeah, there's quite the burning ship that people are trying to jump off of now, but you already backed somebody that you knew stole money and a channel because you didn't like the person you stole from. Yep. I don't care if you jump shit now, shithead. You were still a shithead anyway.
By the way, I'm sorry, but that name doesn't come up as being blocked. So.
No, you're not coming up as being blocked.
Yeah.
So you know,
Macabre, $5 Australian. If this gets sent to the North Carolina DA, how much prison time is Kyle facing for contempt, account, embezzlement, fraud, and perjury? Well, here's the thing: it's not embezzlement technically at this point because what we call it is fraudulent conversion, which he was already found liable for. That's a fact. He's already been found liable for fraudulent conversion, which is the civil equivalency to embezzlement. The forgery is a Class G Class G felony in North Carolina, which is 8 months to 36 months. There's two signatures that he had apparently forged, and there's 2 pieces of altered documents. And now the discovery, what we found out, Kyle later changed, supposedly, according to Ben, changed his discover long after the fact. Long after, when he found out he had the default judgment, he concocted this plan to say, well, I moved, and so he wanted Ben to sign a notarized thing. Ben said, no, that would be perjury. Kyle submitted the affidavit anyways in his name, and he went back and he downloaded the Discover off the Discover web form, and that is a PDF. It is not a Photoshop. It is a PDF, and you can go in, and we did. I did this with Landon. Landon has Adobe Pro. He went in, and you could do it yourself. You can go in, and you can edit right off. You can just download that off the number ECF20 from the court, go to the Discover, put that right into your Adobe Pro, and see that the address is editable. And that there's 2 different fonts. The whole page is in futuristic black or future black. The font underneath is Super Sans. That's the only Discover thing like that. I have a Discover thing right here, and my address is public, but it's just a case for YouTube. The font's exactly the same. So there would be no reason why the fonts would be different between the name and the address. Matter of fact, even every what are they called? Comparator we saw has the same font. Every one of them. And they also use on the zip code itself, they use a 4-digit extension. Now that 4-digit extension is not on the barcode. It's not part of this IMB, but it is part of the zip code. That's everything we've seen so far. So there's a whole bunch of reasons why we felt that zip code was fake, right? Yeah, and by the way, oh, that's right. Chris was on that call with Landon, so he can confirm with that. Again, you know.
And if anybody wants to know what that code everybody was tweeting out, that TTAFFDDADTT, that, or however it is, I just picked that out of my ass. That's what that is. It's that barcode. It's that mailing barcode.
Yeah, and by the way, real quick, Chris, if you, I think Chris wants to come in. Can you hold off and we'll get you in if you got time in a few? We can get through this because we're not forget.
Golden Unicorn also said, Chesh, please do the honor of doing the evil laugh again for Jason. Heart, kissy face, please, exclamation mark.
I will do your laugh.
And Devious Doggo said Puny Cox says he's 50-50 now. And I got to point out the irony of like, oh, now it's a 50-50.
Yeah, like I said, I have all those evidences of 50-50 in email. Chester's seen it, and people have seen it. I have more than enough. I even have
Kyle saying it on air. It's part of the original video that went out with Death of the NonSequitur Show. You wouldn't even need any more than that. But yeah, I can do the laugh if you'd like.
Go for it.
It's I did this. I popped into a Discord and I just went. They went, "Oh, hey, Chesh, how's it going?" I went.
That is pretty sinister. But
yeah, that's it.
Okay. Can you read this one? Because this Min is going to play a part in this in a second here. Just doesn't know it. Oh, maybe he did. I already told him. Yeah. Well, go read that super chat. Yeah, because he actually plays a part in this.
Yeah, I am guilty for trying to believe Kyle till the end, sad face. It is so low of him using his boyfriend for his scheme. Good for Ben, happy for you, Steve. Yeah, I don't want to say that it's necessarily bad to try and hold out hope that somebody's not going to be an absolute piece of shit.
Well, let me get this out there. When Ben first contacted me recently, I believe it was on Sunday, whatever the date was, that the 6th or something, September. I saw his tweet, and people had asked, how do you know that was Ben, the real Ben? Because there's so many fake accounts. I figured it. I gave him the benefit of the doubt that it was a real Ben because I went to his friends list, and guess who I saw as his friend? Min, who just gave that super chat. And I know that he knew Ben, and he has told me that Ben is a really nice guy, and he feels really sorry for Ben. And so that was evidence enough for me to at least assume that was the actual Ben. And then I contacted him on DM. I will show you those DMs. Ben said that was absolutely fine. He doesn't care. The first time I ever talked to him was Sunday. So any narration by Union Rock saying that we were holding on to this as super secret evidence, which, by the way, super secret evidence in a court case is called evidence. But we weren't holding on to anything. So so in the brief here that we waited to the last minute, bullshit. And Ruhif, by the way, was the one that discovered the barcode thing. It wasn't his clerk. The clerk was an independent party to see if anybody just generally can figure this out. It doesn't take an expert. She was able to, and she did it independently, and she came up with the same discrepancy in the zip codes that Ruhif came up with. Ruhif only figured this out, I believe it was on Monday or Tuesday. It depends on what time it was because it was late at night. And so it was either Monday or Tuesday my time of this week. So we weren't sitting on anything. And we can prove that.
Yeah, so. It does. Yeah, it doesn't really make much sense. We got a couple of questions.
Yes. I'm still trying to go over this brief, but okay. Questions. Yeah.
I just want to know, can Kyle get jail time for all of this?
Absolutely.
He could get jail time, yes.
Yes. I specifically asked my lawyer that question. And before, my lawyer was like, nobody ever goes to jail for business stuff. But even he said there's an extremely good chance.
Devious Doggo was clarifying that no, Uni said he was now 50-50. Yeah, I understand that it was like his opinion is now 50-50. That was the joke I was making, that now it's 50-50 and not like I was equating it. I was kidding, and I'm sorry if I wasn't clear about that.
Yeah, I told OPT lawyer that the narrative was, well, if Kyle wins to the default thing, it goes back to 50-50. Nope. No. Well, I mean, so even if I won the default thing, it goes back to 50-50. No,
that wouldn't work. That would make no sense anyway. RetroCon asked, what did you guys think about the Forbes article on the case?
I did talk to Peter Riley, who wrote that. I did call him. I think he made some errors. I think he's heavily biased. He gets most of his information from Agrippa, Nate Brody. What does that tell you? I mean, I don't even pontificate on that. If your primary sources are those two sources, you've already going down the wrong path. So.
When I looked at it, I did notice that there was it's a mistake that I see people make on a regular basis. It has to do with neutrality. When people try to be neutral and they overplay one side in that attempt to be neutral because they know one side, it doesn't have as much as the other to give, or as much to that's reasonable. So they'll overstep in tipping they'll kind of push their weight on one side of the scale to make it seem neutral, so that they seem like they're being neutral in presenting something in a neutral way. But the thing is that you can present something in a very neutral way and still come to a conclusion and still flat out be like, nope, not like. So for flat earth, you can be incredibly neutral about the way you approach saying like, okay, so here's the evidence for the globe and here's the evidence for the Florida. Oh, there's none. That's still neutral. You're still being neutral because you're not being, you're being as little, having as little bias as possible. And so this person seems to be overstepping their neutrality to make it come across more neutral than the situation actually entails. That might be true.
Yeah, and he's also friends with that Beatty guy.
Yeah, trying to be as charitable as possible. If I want to be not charitable, I'd say I think this person is a little bit wanting attention, and so by giving extra shout outs to these particular sources, he's getting that attention. But that's if I wasn't being charitable, which I am.
But
being,
I gotta tell
so
you, with these multiple allegations now, it opens up a whole different way of looking at it. And by the way, because he did understand, look, I even have, when I have it in the email, and again, I will show that after the hearing, where I say, you're supposed to send me physically these documents so I can look them over and then sign them for the LLC. So anybody who thinks that I wasn't even considering the LLC for whatever medical reasons, you're full of shit. That's something that he concocted because he didn't have the money. He had to come up with something. There was never any issue about that. I was never supposed to get paid on the table. It was all, I wanted the taxes done right. I wanted everything from day one. I considered the LLC, and the reason why we didn't, we actually was talking to Dave McGinnis, who can back this up. We all decided it just wasn't worth it. We didn't expect to have the income that we were having. I don't have any personal assets to even cover, but I have it in writing to him saying you were supposed to send me these papers so I can physically look them over and then sign the LLC. I was perfectly happy to do it if I needed to. I'm just not a big fan of them because, like, people know my dad got screwed over by one, but whatever. I still was going to look them over. And he said he submitted it without my signature. And then he says he did it figuratively.
Yeah,
and he sent it in. He sent it in, even though I didn't sign it. I'm like, wait a minute. You're capable of even thinking about sending something in and claiming that I signed something that I didn't? Oh, who else did he do that to?
Let's totally ignore that he needed your signature to make the partnership an official business if you weren't partners.
According to him.
William Peterson for 5. True unlikely story. Kyle popped up on my Tinder in CA a few weeks ago. It likely really was him since he isn't that famous. He just can't keep the boyfriends.
Would it be on Grindr? Because I know he went back on Grindr, from what I understand. His ex-boyfriend, not Ben, but another one told me that he was on Grindr. Now I don't know if that's true or not, but whatever. All right, so let's get into the this is the brief in support of the motion to strike declarations of Benjamin Potts and Megan Joyce, which is kind of funny, by the way. If you guys remember the one she just submitted, she said, we want everything in by 9:00 Eastern time. Now I asked my lawyer, is that a hard deadline? He said no, but whatever. Let's get it in anyways. So that way they don't bitch. We did like an hour before, and now she's still claiming that it was a Sir reply, then it was late. Wait a minute here, no, and it wasn't even a Sir reply. She makes a mistake with that. This is not a Sir reply. We specifically did not want to file a motion with a brief. This is why we just did the affidavits, and they were trying to bait us into one, which we didn't take. But anyways.
Right. Miss MP Resurrection for 10 says, Ruhif was right. I was ready to send $100 tomorrow, but we'll wait.
Oh, I still have the $100 bet. If anybody wants to bet me $100, just contact the Dark Tavern Jay. He's a very honorable, neutral guy. I told him as soon as somebody sends him $100 PayPal, I will send him $100 my PayPal, and I will bet them that the motion will be denied, and they can bet that the motion be granted. I was willing to do that long before we even knew about this stuff, because on the merits of the case alone. Because this narrative that he moved really makes a difference does not. It's completely irrelevant. I've been saying this from day one. But he, for some reason, Kyle in his mind when he was a pro se thought that would be a really good argument. He thought that when he was pro se. That's why you don't represent yourself.
It was Tinder.
Yeah. Okay, he has a global mode. I didn't know that. Interesting. All right. So, would you like to read this? Because you got a better voice than me for this.
Oh, okay. Where are we at? Pursuant?
We're on the Mr. Curtis has moved. What? Oh,
Actually, you
whatever.
just
Read whatever you
scroll.
want. Yeah, that's fine.
You need you to scroll to where you want. Mr. Curtis has moved to set aside the entry of default and partial default judgment entered against him in this case, ECF NOS 917. No, 917. Mr. Curtis filed his.
I scrolled.
I have to wait for it. I can only see it on the external.
Oh, because I'm not showing internal. Shoot. Okay. Let me.
We're professionals.
This is why I need a producer. I don't think I can in the internal very easily because it would screw up my layout. So.
Oh, I think you. You know what?
Just call it. Just bring it up yourself.
I'm busy. Yeah, I'm busy. I'm done with this. I'm pulling it up myself.
That's fine, and I'll read these off. Macabre for 5 says, ultimate irony. Journalism was right about something. He came up with the moniker Lyle when his mouth is open. Sadly, that seems to be the case.
Feels
Rez
bad,
Instance, 100 Australian. Thank you, Rez, very much. You've been too kind. He says, Kyle, I would like to forge my X signatures universe. Roll an intelligence and dexterity check back to back. Kyle, natural 1, AA, and natural 1. Universe, how did you even survive this long? And it's so funny. People, it's so funny. People are asking him. They're like, "Wait a minute, you could have won on the merits, which was wrong, but you could have won on the merits. Why do you feel the need to forge this stuff? Why do you feel the need to forge a signature and maybe alter the Discover card?" Because he wouldn't want him the merits. He came up with this weird concocted idea that for some reason, if he thought if he moved, he could claim he didn't get service. When we have him on audio recording saying he got the original service papers, which, by the way, is not going to get, there's no possible way that would get struck. It's evidence that against his own affidavit. His own affidavit, he says, I never got papers. We're like, wait a minute, we have you on record saying that you did. And by the way, that authentication issue, complete bullshit. The thing that his lawyer actually talked about was a case about the transcripts not being self-authenticating, not the video itself. You can absolutely have the video. And by the way, just to close the loop, we got Dave McGinnis and we got Peter Harrington's affidavit saying that this was a original troop recording. What else did the court want, right? I mean, think about this. It's supposed to be a court case, and it's like she could put all this evidence in, she could have all these motions, but we can't have actual evidence.
Well, the thing is like they seem to be trying to file saying that, oh, well, we asked you to file, but you filed and now we don't want it, right. So you can't file this now. But you asked us to file in response to what you said, so this is our response to what you said. So Jackalope 410 said, I'm starting a celebratory drink fund for your beverage of choice once this court case is finally over.
I will be drinking, yeah. Like I said, it sucks that it is to Wednesday now, but from everything I've heard, it's actually to our advantage. Well, it's not really to our advantage per se. It's to our advantage of that they need to know how to deal with this possibly criminally, or how the courts are supposed to do this if there's a forgery stuff.
It's the court moving and not the either side moving.
But OPT lawyer is right. He said in these types of things, you kind of do have to give the other side some chance to kind of defend themselves, and I agree with him on that. But my lawyer was like, it's where you only get 5 days. He's like, they only got 5 days, right? It's Friday, so Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 5 days. It's not like she got a month or a week or 6 weeks extension. She got 5 days.
Yes, the minimum amount of time. If the court had been like, okay, now sit on this for another month, I'd probably be a little bit pissed.
Oh yeah. I mean, OPT lawyers in the Stand in Live chat. Is that not the case for 5 days extension? I mean, that's about the bare minimum for somebody. I mean, they want to move on. The judge wants to see Kyle for the contempt. He wants to move on with this. This has been on forever. My lawyer's like, this has been highly prejudicial. Kyle's been able to file how many motions because of this pandemic stuff? And Unirock's like, well, Steve's blaming Kyle for the pandemic. That's not what I ever said. That's just, God, you're an idiot, dude. You're literally one of the dumbest commentators, if not the dumbest commentator on YouTube. I just gotta get that out. If you think Unirock is a good commentator, you too are one of the dumbest people on the planet. I mean, I've never seen anybody get so many things fucking wrong from start to finish. Everything he ever narrated on was wrong after Manya and I told him we're no longer give you information about this. As soon as we stopped doing that, he had to fill in the blanks with bullshit.
I will give Unirock credit where credit is due, and it is very little credit at that, because he's not due a whole lot. It's essentially that it is far more entertaining to listen to him and how bad, like, it's funny, like he's laughably wrong.
Oh, they
whereas,
listen
like,
for entertainment. I don't give a shit. Yeah, listen to him all you want for entertainment. I don't care about that. I'm not saying don't listen to him. I'm saying if you listen to him thinking you're going to get truth, you're an idiot. If you listen to him for entertainment, by all means. I hope he has 1,000 people watching for that. I don't care. As long as they're laughing at him and not thinking that he's telling you the truth, kind of thing. By the way, read OPTs. I mean,
by comparison, right? So there's people that have been commentating on this that are just boring lying and like boring, just trying to be like harmful, whereas Unirock is still funny. Like I could sit and listen to a Unirock one and get a laugh out of it and have a little bit of fun. Whereas like if I have to listen to like, I don't know, a lawyer or apparently this news show, I would like, it's not as fun. It's not funny. It's just like, you're just wrong and stupid. Whereas like Unirock still is kind of funny. I'll give him that much.
Read OPT's what he said.
Well, Ilya for 5 said, to the surprise of absolutely no one, Kyle lied. Again, he did it to himself. And OPT, right? The one right before Ilya, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the one
yes,
you want?
Please read that.
Yeah, it's that does seem like the court moved. It is so it could do its own research.
Yes, that is exactly what I was told. And the judge's law clerk is going to look in and see if he can manually do it and see if the zips don't match himself.
Right.
So they want to research that as well.
Anybody can go do this. We put the code out for literally everybody.
I'm sorry, but if the clerk can figure it out, it is not required an expert testimony. I mean, it's just ridiculous. No. So that you're right. OPT, you nail. Once again, hey, you know what? OPT sounds like he's an actual lawyer.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Mr. Curtis filed his amended motion to set aside on July 28th, 2020, ECF number 30. Mr. McRae filed a response on August 11th, 2020, ECF number 32. And Mr. Curtis filed a reply on August 24th, 2020, ECF number 33. After the close of briefing, the court noticed a hearing on the amended motions to set aside for September 11th, ECF number 34. This is the right one, right?
Yep,
I've got the right one.
You
Okay.
got it. Yes, you do. Yep.
On September 3rd, Mr. McRae filed an affidavit, which he styled as a supplemental affidavit of Stephen McRae in opposition to defendant's amended motion to set aside ECF number 35. Mr. Curtis moved to strike that affidavit on the grounds that it, 1, was an improper surreply for which Mr. McRae did not seek leave of court, 2, contained inadmissible evidence, and 3, did not address new arguments raised by Mr. Curtis's reply brief.
Which is incorrect. It is not a surreply. We
OPT
looked into that.
Jump in if you want to the link.
Yeah, I'll give him the link here in a second on Twitter. Yeah, there's not a surreply. In fact, we specifically did not do a motion, so it was not a surreply. So my lawyer doesn't even know why she's calling it a surreply. It's not. It's got to take you off. So
I think she's trying to call it a surreply so that way they can actually like have a chance of getting it struck. She's just trying to represent it in a way that allows them to do what they're trying to do.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, it makes no sense because they try to bait us into doing a motion. We didn't want that. We were like, hey, we have affidavits, but that's only because we just got them.
Right. On September 9th, less than 48 hours before the hearing on Mr. Curtis's amended motion to set aside, Mr. McRae said, on our request, I'm going to put in brackets, by the way, on our request that he respond by this time, Mr. McRae submitted 2 declarations in opposition to that motion. Mr. Curtis moves to strike those declarations.
Yeah, they wanted it by 9 o'clock. That's why I was like, see, and by the way, we didn't even get Ben's actual affidavit signed until like an hour before that soft deadline.
I also got a question that somebody sent me not in the side chat. They asked, big question, on a scale of 1 to Nathan Thompson, how stupid would it be to submit a forged rental agreement into evidence in court?
Pretty stupid.
pretty high up there. Pretty high on the dumb.
That's pretty high up there. You guys are gonna have to share a box together.
I'm okay with that. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, you're on top, and OPT, I'm sure likes that.
That's fine.
You don't mind? Oh, we got Chris coming in too. So the 3 of you, look at that. That's a menage a trois over there.
Hey. Hey. I
just figured we'd get a couple people in here, but okay. So OPT lawyer, real quick. So by the way, you did nail it. And by the way, I said the same thing. She was going to file a motion, and then I said in the same motion, could you not say if we don't get the motion, you at least get a continuance? You said, yeah, that's what you would do, right? So
Oh yeah, everything you say I get right is because I'm like, that's what I would do. And shockingly, other lawyers do think the same way. I'm happy.
Yeah. All right, so let's continue with this real quick, if you don't mind.
I need you to scroll down a little bit. I'm at the argument part.
Argument part. Where is that?
Yeah, an argument in big bold letters on page 2. I believe in you.
This is page 2. That's page 2 right here.
Keep going down. Keep going. We read all that.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we did. Down. That's up. There it is. Hey.
No. We're not out there yet.
We're on argument.
No, we're not. We didn't read any of this stuff yet.
Yeah, we did. I'll read it again.
September
if you
9th,
want.
less than 48 hours before the hearing. We haven't read that yet.
Yeah, remember I said in brackets that thing we asked you to do?
Oh, okay, you're right. Okay. So are we here?
Getting old. We're on argument.
Yeah, argument. We're here. This is it.
Yes, there you go. Argument. Declarations should be struck because they are not timely.
Well, I don't even know how she figures this. I was like, do we invent a time machine? How much more timely could we get? Mrs. Ben on Sunday. We have found this out on Monday or Tuesday, depending on where your locality is, because it was really late for me, so it was probably Monday night.
Yeah, literally, all this was pulled together in like 2 to 3 days.
Yep. All these people thought, they've been sitting on this since February. No, we haven't. We would have.
Why would we sit on this?
Ridiculous. We would have absolutely put it in at the time when he filed his first motion. If you knew this,
I'll back that up as well, because the excitement that you had when you were like letting me know, hey, look what's come through, and you were showing me, and I'm watching things happen in like almost real time.
You were hang out with Landon in real time when we were going over the PDF just recently. This was what 2 days ago.
Yeah, about that. I don't know. Yeah, about 2 days ago.
Yeah. Anybody thinks that, but you know what?
Was this week.
But here's the thing, though, Chesire. I'm a mean, lying poopy head.
So
right, yeah. Anybody who associates with me is clearly lying. Chris is a liar. OPT is a liar.
Of course, yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
I'm all a big part of the conspiracy. It's
right. Yes.
Too is that gif of why are you booing me? I'm right.
By the way,
I'm just waiting to see the narrative that they come up with after all of this.
Yeah,
I mean, surely they've run out.
The narrative now is basically, well, it doesn't matter. Steve still, sucks.
Hey, guess what? It doesn't matter. Steve's still an asshole, and so Kyle's still a fucking thief.
I'm an asshole that's not going to jail, and somebody else might be.
Yeah. Hey, right, Steve, you might be an asshole, but you're our asshole.
You know what? I will be your asshole. You need one.
But that's the thing, right? So what? You don't like Steve. That's your opinion. Good for you. And it's still a fact, not an opinion, that Kyle stole an entire show and a shitload of money and defrauded a bunch of fans. And you're backing that, which makes you the asshole. And that's not even an opinion.
That's a good point. That is a fact. That makes him an asshole. Okay, so let's continue on here. Oh, by the way, I want to say hi to Dr. Rhodes. I just had a great discussion with him the other day. I miss him. He's a great guy.
The declarations submitted by Mr. McRae are improper and, like the supplemental affidavit, were filed without leave of court. Under the business court rules, proper motion practice consists of only a motion of accompanying brief, a response, and a reply. See BCR 7.5, 7.6, and 7.7. Quote, all materials, including affidavits on which a motion or brief relies, must be filed with the motion or brief, end quote, BCR 7.5, emphasis added. As the court has previously explained, quote, surreply briefs are not permitted by this court's rules and generally are disfavored, end quote, Worley versus Moore, case number, blah, 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 blah,
Here's
blah,
the thing. It was not a surreply. We did not file a response to her brief. We filed an affidavit with response to the affidavit that Kyle had, which is perfectly fine.
Well, yeah, she was trying to argue in the last one saying that your affidavit was actually a surreply and it was just filed as an affidavit instead, except that can't be the case because you were responding to something that was posted, and she was trying to say that, but you didn't actually address anything that was posted, so therefore it's not actually a reply, which wasn't the case.
Super chat. Thank you. Rez has got to take off. Thank you, Rez Instance, for your super chat. Very much appreciate it. And we'll get some games going.
I unfortunately have to watch things every so often by Unirock because.
No, I've been watching the Periscopes in the last couple of days. Like I said, I really hate hearing his bullshit because it's so goddamn dumb. People the same reason I don't like listen to flat Earth channels. There's no difference.
I feel like you've got to be on drugs to watch Unirock, really, because it's the only way you can do it.
I've suffered through it in the last couple of days.
Yeah, we've had to watch a couple of things because Kyle's been on and there's been some stuff that we needed to like pick out and see what was being said because it mattered. Most of the time it doesn't matter. I can't see the super chat right now because my chat.
Boy of Ink, $2. At this point, Kyle Ford is like 95% of signatures. Cookie Nips, $50. Thank you, Cookie Nips, for that. That's a lot. Thank you. He says, I missed you. Been MIA for a while. Can't believe this is all still going the fuck on. Hope he drowns in his lies. Well, believe it or not, it's still going on. By the way, I mean, this is not violating any kind of confidentiality. My lawyer is astounded at how long this has been dragged on. I don't think he's ever seen anything like it. It has been highly prejudicial to me as the person who brings upon, wants remedy for something. And the gamesmanship that Kyle has been playing with the court, the contempt that he's had for the court, the submitting of potentially fraudulent information to the court, it's mind-boggling. It is simply mind-boggling, the hubris. And then they said that we're playing gamesmanship. How the fuck are we playing gamesmanship when I'm trying to get justice for somebody who stole the money from the fans? How am I doing gamesmanship? And Uni has the balls to say, well, Steve's being the gamesmanship because he's had this information, he waited last minute, and the lawyer's trying to pull that, when I will prove to you that was not the case. I mean, absolutely, unequivocally prove that was not the case.
Why would that? It makes no sense. Like the motivation isn't there. Like there's no.
Ridiculous.
It doesn't make any sense. Here, Mr. McRae filed 2 declarations after the close of briefing without attempting to seek leave of court. Now, I want to clarify something real quick. You had until until day X to submit things.
According to her, that's what she wanted. Yeah.
10 days to respond, and before those 10 days were up, the court said that there was going to be a hearing. That doesn't close the briefing. That just says there's going to be, this has now been scheduled. You still would have that 10 days to respond. Correct? So then there was no close of briefing.
Yeah,
because it can't have been before the close of briefing, because the close of briefing would have been after 10 days.
I do not know.
Okay, yeah, maybe I'm wrong. That's just my understanding of
my name is not Unirock. I don't make shit up that I have no idea what the hell I'm talking about.
Well, from what I'm understanding is that she's saying that the briefing was closed, and the briefing was closed because a hearing date was set, which can't be the case because they're also submitting shit.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. She submitted it. Yeah, we knew about the hearing, but this all would have been fine had Kyle not submitted that last affidavit. When he submitted that last affidavit saying that he did not receive papers from his mom, I think that kind of changed everything, because my lawyer's like, whoa, wait a minute here. This is an entirely different defense. And the fact that it was very fortuitous that I happened to see that tweet from Ben on Sunday, and I responded to it, and I started talking to him about what was going on, and he was more willing to help us. Yeah. What?
I said, SpaghettiOs.
Yeah, it was very fortuitous. I mean, again, if this would have been resolved by last week, that we never would have discovered this stuff. Nope.
Yep. These declarations are improper under Business Court Rule 7.5, which requires affidavits to be submitted with a brief. Here, Mr. McRae had a chance to submit the declarations with his brief in response to Mr. Curtis's amended motion to set aside, but failed to do so. Instead, he waited until the 11th hour, again, less than 48 hours before the hearing, to file the declarations. The declarations should be struck from the record.
That is fundamentally wrong. We can prove that. It's trivial. I mean, like I said, we have Chris Atley in here. He knows for a fact that we didn't even know about the mail thing until 2 days ago, and I will show you evidence. I have no problem with it. It's going to be submitted anyways. It's irrelevant. It's not going to harm anything. That I only got in touch with Ben on Sunday, so yeah, we didn't sit on anything. And by the way, OPT lawyer, let me ask you. This is more of not so much a legal question, but a physics question. So.
Okay.
If I don't know about something until this date, and his lawyer says he had to put this in prior to that, before my knowledge, would that require the knowledge of time travel?
I mean, as much as I want to answer yes to that question, because time travel would be cool, no.
Because time travel doesn't exist.
No. But it'd be cool if it did.
But I mean, this is what she's arguing. She's arguing that we waited to the last minute. Now, so if we only got this week, which we can prove and we can show the court, that's not
right.
The lawyer knows this. The lawyer's not going to lie. The lawyer's going to tell the judge, I got all these emails from Ruth and Steve. We were talking about this last couple of days.
Right.
You know,
which is exactly.
You know what? I can already see Uni Rock's next video. Steve invented time travel to screw over time.
There's
coming.
And that's what I was saying. The court was very likely going to give a continuance because it's not going to sit there and be like, well, no, you can't use this because it's untimely. The better and more just thing to do is be like, okay, we'll kick it out a little bit here, 5 days, so everyone has a chance to digest this.
Yeah,
including me.
My lawyer was not going to argue against that. He was. It's 5 days, and one of the things is that the law clerk is going to be able to. He's going to try to see if the zip codes don't match on his own, from what I understand.
Golden Unicorn for 2 said, "Looks like Kyle's abandoned Jason. I'm enjoying this." I mean, I don't know what else you would. What happened when he stole the show? He ran away and hid when the court of public opinion didn't go in his favor. Now legal court is not going in his favor, so he's going to run and leave all the people he lied to hanging. And you know what they're still not going to do? They're still not going to apologize to the Non-Sequitur Show fans, the same way the last people didn't apologize to the Non-Sequitur Show fans. And they're still going to tell Steve to go fuck himself because, I don't know, we don't like him.
But here's the thing. All those people that wanted to say go fuck myself, I don't want anything to do with. Why can't they just go their own goddamn way? I don't talk about them. I don't deal with them. I have nothing fucking to do with them, but they spend their entire lives trying to character assassinate me like it's some kind of like fun game. Look, if they want to spend their lives doing that, but you know what? It's been backfired on them every goddamn fucking time. I don't get it.
Well, we know it's a game for them. They said as much when they were trying to ask the people on the divorce court forum.
Right? And here's the thing, I don't respond to that trolling, so I don't know what they get out of it. I don't know what kind of weird satisfaction they get out of it, but, you know, all they have to do is just basically, look, there's 1 billion people on YouTube. Go find some other fucking person to deal with. You're not getting anything out of me. If anything, you've helped me by proving to my audience you're all pieces of shit. Why Bullinator, myself, and Reds left you guys a long time ago for the same reasons. You guys were pieces of shit back then.
Listen, the answer is that they're a bunch of losers and they're sore losers and they don't know what winning feels like. So the closest thing they can ever get to winning is pretending to be you and then pretending they've beat you on a divorce court forum.
I think it's more than that. I really do believe this. I think that none of those people have an actual friend in their lives.
No, and they don't even like each other. So, you know, one of the things that's catching me in this is that, again, less than 48 hours before the hearing, that's when you ask them to file it by. What do you mean?
I know that was her thing. 9 o'clock Eastern. Correct me if I'm wrong, right?
Yeah,
and we were trying to get it in. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chess, but wasn't I? I mean, I wasn't in panic mode.
We didn't have Caffeine Corner. We didn't have, like, we put a bunch of shows on hold and didn't have them because we were trying to get this shit done.
But was I not? Hey, look, did I not tell you? It's a soft deadline. We don't have to get it in tonight. We get it tomorrow. But I was really wanted to get it in before I went to bed that night and before it got too late. And we were like, where's this last affidavit they're waiting for? We were waiting all day for that last affidavit. As soon as it came in. Yeah. You know, I was like, oh my, okay, we're done. And I told my lawyer, I'm not even shitting. We were about to file everything except for one piece of affidavit, and we were like, you know what? No, let's wait. We want to do it all together.
Yeah.
And if it had been in like 5 minutes,
that was like
difference,
a matter of waiting a couple of hours, not waiting a couple of months.
Yeah. Okay.
Boy for 2 said, "Is Kyle searching for a new hidey hole on Tinder?" No pun intended. And William Peterson for 5 says the quantity and quality of Kyle and Unitard's trolls have dropped by at least 95% on your streams. The 5% left must be really scraping the bottom.
Look, I said this in a tweet. If you're getting your legal information from a guy named Menace to Sobriety or that high guy, hey, look, you know, you do you, boo.
Well, is like, particularly with that high guy actually was on Tastecraft in the comment section shitting on Kyle.
Oh yeah, like I said, none of this has to do with Kyle. They don't give a shit. Yeah. Oh yeah. Look, okay. Reds is.
I forgot Tastecraft was a thing. That was. Yeah. How did that end up?
He deleted it.
I kind of spooked Kyle into deleting the entire channel.
After Astronomy Live downloaded all of the comments in data form, that she could still go through them.
I'm thinking he could use Tastecraft to show his skills and maybe get a job in the prison kitchen. I mean, it could be good.
And by the way,
he said he's not doing anything with it. I'm taking it. It belongs to me. I'm making a whole channel based around it. Don't take this from me. I'm opening it up to like 3 or 4 different members so that way they can all take shitty videos of them making food on their phones.
Red's, no offense, but Reds was bugging the fuck out of me every goddamn 5 minutes. Did we get the last affidavit? Did we get the last affidavit? I'm like, dude, I will let you know. I even told him, I swear to God, I was like, dude, go to bed, have your cell phone next to you. I will fucking call you from my cell phone if we, once we get it. So, I mean, this was like, what, yesterday? Yeah, like literally. So for them to say that we've had this all in advance, his lawyer is based upon the misinformation that Kyle's telling her, that him and Unirock, for some magical, mystical reasons, came up in their head. This is what I'm saying. Their misinformation has translated over to real life effects because they have fucked themselves legally because they have this weird narrative that never happened.
Yeah.
And they're trying to present it to the court.
Yes. The whole thing with the Medico, weird narrative, bullshit. The whole thing about having the money, bullshit. They'll have about having a lawyer originally, bullshit. They have about having a CPA, bullshit. All these narratives, if it was just on YouTube, probably nobody would have given a fuck, right? They would have been like, it's YouTube, people lie. But they made it into a legal proceeding and lied about it. Not smart.
No, it's not.
And thank you all his enablers.
I've never accused them of being geniuses.
But all these people enabled him.
He's yelling at you, by the way. He says, I don't need sleep, I need answers. Oh, I was also told, and I was informed to say that, Steve, you're an asshole because you had originally scheduled this at a time where Reds only would have been a half an hour late and been able to come in. Sorry. But then upon finding that out, you moved the time to ensure that he couldn't come in.
I'm an ass. Well, I'll be honest. The main reason I moved this was because of her entreated feline. She wanted a little bit earlier, and she's done a lot for me for my blog because she edits, and it's the least I can do for her. So straight up, that's one of the main reasons. Yeah.
The declaration of Megan Joyce contains inadmissible testimony. In addition to being late, the declaration of Megan Joyce, like Mr. McRae's supplemental affidavit, contains inadmissible evidence. Portions of Miss Joy's declaration improperly speculate that in the font in Mr. Curtis's bank statement was altered. ECF number 29, paragraph 12 to 13. That statement is inadmissible expert testimony to which Miss Joyce, a legal assistant, has neither a proper foundation nor personal knowledge. See NC Gen Stat blah blah blah.
I'm sorry, you don't need an expert for this.
Hang on a second, but it's clearly a different font. I mean, you don't have to be a genius or have some qualification to see it's a different
more than that.
font.
It's not just a different font. No, it is the IMB zip code thing. The thing, but the page tells you how to decode it.
Yeah.
And his clerk, the law clerk, is going to do it, and the law clerk can see. Hey, yes, Your Honor, they are different zip codes. Now, listen. Hypothetically, just arguendo say that it is not altered. Okay, just arguendo. We have every right to bring up the presumption that it has been altered because of all the evidence to why we think it was altered. Because there's just absolutely no reason why that barcode would be different from the written. We've asked the post office. They're like, no, that'd be ridiculous. And Chris, as he was in the call with Landon when we downloaded it, put it in Adobe Pro, saw that it is editable, and saw the two different fonts. So all the evidence, we have every right to read. We have every right to raise these arguments. Now,
and it will tell you which font is which if you click on the fucking font.
You don't need to be an expertise in this.
It was something block, and then I think the other one was in San. It was a San font.
Yeah, this is like saying that, oh, listen, you need a 4-year bachelor degree to be able to tell me the difference between Arial and Comic Sans.
And here's the funny part too. His lawyer wanted us to authenticate those audio recordings, which, by the way, wasn't required. But my lawyer's like, whatever. If you guys, he's like, you guys know the original people? I'm like, yeah, Dave McGinnis and Peter Harrington, who's in the live chat. I was like, they're more than happy to authenticate this. They're like, yeah, might as well. Sure.
Photographer 5 says Kyle's next strategy: get Jeranism to sign an affidavit that your name is really Deceive McReap, and the fraud NonSequitur Show never existed.
You know what? I might actually. I probably get in touch with Jeranism and who's that other freaking idiot? That narrows it down in the flat Earth community. No, the one that the one that made the bubbleheads on us, the real paranoid one. 33, everything's 33. The one that talked about my daughter, thought she was a a paid transactor.
Vids.
What is it?
That was Russian
Univids.
vids.
Yeah, Russian Univids. I could get with him and tell him, dude, I had planned this from day one before NonSequitur. This was my Machiavellian master genius plan. In fact, dude, I planned this before I was even born. That's how good I am. I was playing 6D chess. Okay, but anyway.
In the alternative, the court should continue the hearing on Mr. Curtis's amended motion to set aside.
I figured she would. We talked about this. We thought she was going to do this. This makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why we would want anything other than that. Yeah, go ahead. The court has scheduled a hearing on Mr. Curtis's amended motion to set aside for the morning of Friday, September 11th. Mr. Curtis has moved to strike Mr. McRae's supplemental affidavit, the declaration of Benjamin Potts, and the declaration of Megan Joyce. Mr. Curtis believes that those motions are, what is that?
Meritorious.
Meritorious?
Meritorious, yeah. They have merit.
Yes.
And that the supplemental affidavit and declaration should not be considered when the court rules on Mr. Curtis's amended motion to set aside.
Let me ask this. So this will confuse me. Why would Curtis think that they are meritorious? That when I read this, am I misreading that?
Yeah. What she's saying is that they believe like their arguments have merit to them, basically.
Who's Benjamin's and Megan's?
No. Theirs. Kyle. Her arguments, Kyle.
Well, because she's talking about. She says believes that those motions. What is she talking about?
Yeah. The motion to strike, the motion to set aside.
Oh, okay. Because when I first read this, I said to myself, Mr. Curtis believes those motions are meritorious, and I thought it was somehow referring to Potts and Joyce. Maybe he agrees. That's the way I read it.
It's not the greatest sentence in the world or set of sentences, but the one before it begins with Mr. Curtis has moved to strike Mr. McRae's supplemental affidavit, the declarations, and Mr. Curtis believes that those motions are meritorious. Yeah, she's saying that Mr. Curtis, Kyle, believes that his motions to strike have merit to them. That's all. I literally am
that's kind of redundant. Cool. Why would they have a motion if they believe? Who says, hey, I have a motion, but you know what? I really don't think that the motions have merit.
I don't think I have a chance in hell, but can you continue with anyway?
Maybe this is a cry for help from her. She's like, the client thinks
really
that these have merit, but I don't.
Yeah, she really can't withdraw this close to a hearing date, so she's kind of screwed in that way. But at the hearing, theoretically, and again, I have no information one way or another, but in the hearing could at that point say, Your Honor, due to whatever conflicts of other, I have to recuse myself or withdrawal or from this case. I mean, OPT, she theoretically could do that, correct?
Oh, as I said to you just in a chat, like what could very well happen at this hearing, and it may not now, but I was thinking we start the hearing on Friday and they immediately go into chambers, which over video would be like some like private room thing, whatever. Mm-hmm. They talk, like your lawyer and Kyle's lawyer talks to the judge for a little bit. They come out of their chambers and she makes an oral motion to withdraw with no argument otherwise. Mm-hmm. And then the court just grants it on the spot and then basically sets the matter for a new hearing date and gives Kyle X amount of days to get a new attorney or represent that he's going to represent himself. And then we're done. Like, that could very well happen.
Yeah, I got no opinion one way or another. I don't know.
Yeah,
I just said she could.
It's going to happen. I have no opinion that's going to happen. I'm just saying it could.
Yeah.
A couple from the chat. Heat Shield said Russian vids would sign it in the third person. and we got somebody named Kylo Ken saying,
Dr. Rhodes.
I think Dr. Rhodes. I think being humble in victory is very important here. Gloating over Kyle's possible jail time is not needed. His actions are a sign of a person who hurt/issues he is dealing with. No, I disagree.
I disagree fully. I will tell you this. I'm not gloating right now. This is not gloating in any ways.
I am gloating. She's gloating. I've been gloating.
If Kyle ends up in jail, you have my word, I will gloat in perpetuity.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Here's the thing: there were people that were trying to say that every time there's something, these guys celebrate and da da da. Here's the thing: every time Kyle's submitted something and it's gotten its ass kicked, that is winning.
Yeah,
that's what,
I mean, we've won everything. I mean, I don't. We've literally, we've got, he said sue me. We did. He said, he didn't show up. We have a default judgment. I mean, everything that we've had is because we did win.
But the thing is that we're in a situation where these people have been losing and gloating.
It's weird, right?
The thing, I don't give a shit about whatever Kyle's fucking personal problems are. I do not fucking care. There was a time where that was relevant and it mattered. That time has long since passed. He has been given every single opportunity for over a year to do this right, to make it right, to get whatever help he wanted. He stole tens of thousands of dollars and has been shitting on everybody that he fucking stole that money from.
And by the way, Uni has enabled that. Uni has enabled that.
Yes,
right?
there have
and
been
so everything that I hold against Kyle, Unirock's just as much of a piece of shit because he has enabled him.
The thing is, he didn't just steal it from Steve. He's stolen it from everyone who ever donated anything, whoever followed the show, whoever was a part of that non-sequitur community. So it's not just a Kyle did the wrong thing by Steve. Kyle's done the wrong thing by a lot of people.
Thousands of people.
And the way that all he's done is he had the opportunity initially to fix it at 50-50, and you know what, the show would still be running, everyone would be successful. Okay, you guys don't get along, but you've got a successful business. Instead of that, what he's done is every stage he's just doubled down. It's one lie on top of another lie on top of another lie. The guy is a complete fucking moron.
I've said he's a pathological.
At any stage he could have pulled out. Yep. So you know what? The way he's acted, the way he's carried on, whatever he's got coming to him, bad luck. He fucking deserves whatever he's got.
Let me remind you of this. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did not Reds and I tell him very specifically, and I'm pretty sure Bull was there, dude, you need to take some time. Just think about your fucking actions.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Because I knew he was on it. I knew he had some problems going on. I mean, he has some bad headspace. I've always known this.
He has been given every opportunity.
So I have empathy because I'm not a sociopath. I'm not a psychopath. I understand empathy. But after a while, you start fucking me over, the empathy's gone. Just gone. It's just you're done. Sympathy. I have empathy. I don't have sympathy because I can't feel for him. I just don't.
Let's not forget, Kyle asked for the court of public opinion.
He did. Mm-hmm. He said, sue me, and then he said, make it the court of public opinion. I'm like, okay. Because at the time I said I can't sue him only because I had no reason, I had no means to. I would have to like dig through all my emails. I didn't have them all ready. I was like,
money. You knew you couldn't sue him because you had the money.
So I was like, we had a verbal agreement. I would have to find written things like that. I didn't know what I have, and I said, look, I couldn't sue him. But then I thought about it, and then I looked at all my emails, and I've had, oh my God, I have overwhelming evidence. And then when Ruth stepped in and said, hey, look, I could either give Steve 20 grand, but where the fun would that be? And he said, I will do this as a matter of principle.
Keep in mind that Kyle
that's principle.
Kyle asked for the court of public opinion. He ran the show without Steve after unceremoniously and unethically and illegally taking him out of his own business. Tried to run the show without him. The court of public opinion told him to fucking stop. He then had the opportunity to make things right and be like, you know what, I fucked up. I was wrong. I'm sorry. If you want people to not gloat about you being a shithead and losing, this is like saying, hey, we shouldn't be happy that Thanos lost. Hey, we shouldn't have a celebration that the Avengers saved New York. Like we shouldn't be happy or have a party about this. Like you know what, Middle Earth, you need to calm down about celebrating that Sauron is gone. Like come on, this isn't fair. He obviously had some issues. No, fuck off.
Yeah, but you're all right. The court of opinion did speak, and by the way, we wanted in the court of opinion, and of course, and they're like.
And he ignored it.
Yeah, I mean, they're like, well, why'd you go public on this? Well, Reds and I have explained why we decided to go public. Bull agreed.
You have to explain. Yeah. Kyle asked for it to go public in the initial video that went out.
Because I knew he was in the wrong. I knew he was lying. And I knew we had asked him for the monies, and it was like, what happened? And then for him to say, by the way, can I ask the live chat? We got 300 people watching. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. Kyle said he has tried numerous times to pay me. Other than the one time he mentioned it in the Death of NonSequitur show, which, by the way, was not even on air at the time, Has he ever produced a single instance where he said he was going to pay me? Because the only thing he's ever talked about was, oh, after the certain time, we'll do distributions. After this time, you'll be paid. I have no emails, and I've looked extensively over the last God knows how long. I've seen almost every conversation. There's been not a single thing where it says, hey, I'm trying to give you the money. How do you want it? Not one. Not
I'm gonna
one.
go more. I'm going to go.
I think. Sorry, I think. See, this is this time delay because I'm on the other side of the flat Earth. I do recall something about, and it might have been on either GE's or with GE's wife, where Kyle said that he was going to pay everything that was owed. It wasn't he was saying it wasn't a 50-50 partnership and he'd pay everything he owed. I do vaguely remember something like that. In fact, that video might even be on the non-sec channel.
What was being said?
He was saying that Kyle would pay Steve everything that Steve was owed.
That was on the Death of NonSequitur Show. Another story. Well, it was even after he continued to stream. He's like, Steve will get every penny. I will make sure Steve gets every penny. Then it was like, oh, I'm not going to pay Steve. He didn't have the money. He spent the money.
We got three super chats. Sorry. One was hold on. Boy of Ink for 5 says, I'm sure Chasecraft would have been so much more popular if he would have filmed his cooking all of the signatures.
Like the books, like the accounts payable. I'm still to this day, when Peter Roddy guy that wrote for Forbes, even he said that was just fucked. He was like, garbage. He's like, now I said, when you cook the books, don't you normally pad I think it's accounts receivable? He's like, well, it depends what you're trying to do. He's like, but that you don't send invoices to yourself that are non-existent from a partner that ever signed off on them for a business relationship, like, when it's just a profit sharing like that. He's like, none of that works like that. So
Macabre said bad headspace. That a new street name for cocaine.
It's so funny. I don't think I've ever heard the term booger sugar until BX Beast Boy said it a couple weeks ago. I never heard that before. Yeah, I've got my whole life and I've never heard it called booger sugar before.
William Peterson for 5 says, on the next episode of Tastecraft, we will be making jail commissionary top ramen.
All right, so let's continue here. And by the way, Rufus going to join us in a few here.
Oh, yay! All right. Mr. Curtis believes the blah, 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 set aside. If the court is not inclined to strike the supplemental affidavit and declarations, Mr. Curtis's request that the court continue the hearing and grant him an opportunity to respond to the allegations in the affidavit and declarations. Mr. Curtis vigorously denies any and all allegations of forgery in Mr. Potts's and Miss Joyce's declarations. If those allegations are considered, Mr. Curtis respectfully requests an opportunity to respond to and refute all the allegations.
Which is to be expected.
Yeah, no, please.
And by the way, like I said, look, I will go on record. If he can produce the original discovery things, okay. We had every right to bring up the discrepancies, right? But here's the thing: those were not hard copy mails; those were PDFs. So I don't know. I don't know why there'd be a hard copy like that. It's weird. And
you can print up a PDF, and you can print up the altered PDF anyway.
Yeah, no, I mean physically a mailing thing to him. I don't know how he would. I don't know how he would do this. But let's say that he does. And let's say that we're way off base. Okay, we just go, hey, look. We have the presumption of this that there was we show there was discrepancies here. He answered him. Okay, fine, dismiss it. No big deal. I think the harder one, by the way, and I really do believe that those have been altered, but whatever. I could be wrong, right? Big deal. But the whole thing I find problematic is Ben's signature.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because those signatures do not match. You can tell that the signature on the record from the original one on February is much like his own signature. And how do you refute that? I mean, sure, he can produce maybe things that say he made payments to him. I know he made a $600 payment. But it could be for miscellaneous. It doesn't matter. It does. When you have your ex-boyfriend say, "Hey, he did not live with me. He forged my stuff." Now Ben's putting himself up in jeopardy, and Ben seems like a really honest, decent guy. What advantage would he have to that? He's not scorned. He didn't want anything to do with Kyle. He's not like upset that he's not with Kyle. He doesn't want to be with Kyle. He wants nothing to do with the guy.
Macabre for 2 said, "How much for an 8-ball of bad headspace?"
Macabre.
Conclusion.
You want bad headspace? It's free. Just go and watch Unirock.
Oh God.
Oh jeez.
For the reasons stated in this brief, the declaration of Benjamin Potts and Megan Joyce should be struck and not considered by the court in ruling on Mr. Curtis's amended motion to set aside this day, 10th day of September 2020.
Right. See, that's like having a video of the killing and saying, no, you shouldn't look at the video. Nothing to see here.
That's my lawyer said too. He's like, what do they think that they're doing? It's like, this is evidence for a case. You don't just have a possible perpetration of fraud and ignore it. No, and so yeah, it's just weird. All right, so anyways, I got some other stuff I want to show.
Close your eyes, stick your fingers in their ears, and go la 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 la. Nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here. So let me screen share here. You guys are going to see on the outside.
I can't wait to. I'm gonna have some victory poutine and dark and stormy whenever this thing goes through.
I so want some
poutine. Is poutine actually a thing, is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like chips with gravy and cheese and stuff.
And curds. Yes. There's a whole bunch of types of poutine.
There you go.
But I've never had it, and I really want some.
Come visit. I'll make you guys some.
All right, so let me guys. So this, by the way, I probably never said this often, but thank you, Unirock, for finding these, because for some strange reason, these don't come up on my Wayback Machine, and it didn't come up for who else was trying to find it? Ruif. We couldn't find this on the Wayback Machine. In fact, I have no idea why it doesn't work for us, but they do exist. They are legit. I found out. Okay, that's fine, but I would have never found them.
Speaking of Ruif, can Ruif sue Unirock for saying that he was paying off Benjamin Potts?
You're going to have to ask Ruhiv about that kind of stuff. But I guarantee that never happened. He has never talked to Ben before. How the hell could he have paid him off? He's never talked to Ben. He's never had a conversation with him.
Oh, exactly. And it's clear bullshit.
By the way, for $55,000, I will drop right now. I will drop all this. I'll take that $55,000 and tell you all to fuck off. No, I wouldn't do that anyways. But I mean, that's just absurd. It's just ridiculous. I mean, for God's sake. I mean, I don't even know where. First, that was $45,000 and $55,000. And by the way, did he produce any evidence for that? No. It's absolutely morbidly stupid. No, there was absolutely no money given to Ben. The only thing I told Ben was, if you need to be reimbursed to have it notarized, I will reimburse you for it. But then under the emergency COVID things, you didn't have to have it notarized. That's the only thing. Because I figured, why be out of pocket for the notarization? I'd be happy to reimburse him for that. But
I mean, that just kind of sounds like a reasonable, nice thing to do for somebody. That doesn't seem like you're.
It's $10 is a far cry from 55,000, is it not? And by the way, we didn't have to have notaries. But anyway, so this Benjamin Potts. I'm sorry, what?
I said they're all numbers. That's basically the same.
Yeah, got a few zeros here and there, right? But Benjamin Potts, this is from February. He said, "This is Union Rock. While you're supporting the Kyle Curtis, he's a narcissistic asshole." Who takes advantage of everybody he comes in contact with, including the people he claims to love. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did he not take advantage of all the other co-hosts?
Oh, absolutely.
Who believed him that he had a lawyer that he lied to? All of them.
The best example of somebody that he absolutely took advantage of is Shannon.
Oh, I agree.
I would say that is probably like GE and KC. He clearly there was some manipulation going on there, but KC and GE seem to have a little bit more of knowledge and a hand in what was going on. Definitely had a hand in it just by deleting people and taking them off the channel and assisting Kyle and getting rid of Steve.
Shannon
was unlawful.
Yeah, Shannon has a naturally good heart. She wants to look for the best of people. I recognize that. I've never faltered her for that. I just haven't. But when it came to Mr. Atheist and the Wonder Twins, the Atheist Wonder Twins, they had active hand in it. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. But anyways, so this was. What
I want to know is it a coincidence that they were trying to do a call-in show with Mr. Atheist and Kyle on the Non-Sequitur, and now that's what Mr. Atheist is doing. He's got the whole call-in show thing. It's developed on his channel.
Oh yeah. Like I said, I don't give a shit.
It's part of the that Atheist Click of America group. They all have call-ins.
Yeah. Matt Dillahunty's doing a new call-in show. And by the way, hey, I swear to God, people think that I have something against Matt. I don't even think it's Aron. I like Aron. I think Matt has done a great job on stuff. They've been poisoned from day one against me because of these freaking idiots. They disagree with me. Okay, fine. But I never really gave a shit about personal stuff with them. But
I don't know what you're talking about. I did a 3-part video with people who actually study philosophy, and then people were going around saying I was trying to take down Aron. What?
Yeah. All right.
There's a narrative.
All right, so let's get through this real quick. So Kyle not only swindled Steve McRae, but he's currently squatting in my house that I own and refuse to leave. By the way, squatting does not mean that he lives there. Squatting, he was there for a week and he wouldn't leave.
Squatting means you're not allowed to be there.
Yeah, exactly.
If you've got a lease, you aren't squatting.
Yeah, and that's weird. How do you have why would you be squatting if you have a lease? That doesn't even make any sense. But these narratives like, oh, they were squatting, that doesn't mean to live there. No, it does not. It means what it means, and he just wouldn't go away.
Oh, there is also a legal definition for squatting as well. It's literally staying in a place that you don't live until there's like squatters' rights and shit.
Yeah.
Weird.
Everyone brought up a legal definition in that stream the other day. Was it Nate's stream? Nate Negripper, I think. They're bringing up the legal definition of squatting, and it's like,
really,
Ben's allowed to use it in a colloquial term, but if Kyle says he got served, he wasn't saying he was legally served.
Yeah. The original, so when you say the original papers that I was served, you don't really mean that. You mean some email that you got. That, by the way, that's not how it works. That's not how it works.
So stringent about that. I was like, guys, do not forget that he said the original papers that he was served, not just papers that I was served. The word original is in there.
Yeah. So like I said,
it's almost as if he's lying.
So he says, even the court appeals are based upon lies, which I hope he doesn't get. By the way, he didn't mean court appeals because these are not really appeals, but we know what he means. I hope he doesn't get away with it, Kyle's ex-boyfriend. And there's one other that and by the way, if you noticed here, do you see a reply? Anybody? For me?
No.
Where are we up to?
Showing any
we're looking at the we're looking at the Benjamin Potts' message to me back in February or March.
Oh, right, okay. I can't
this one he spelled my name wrong.
If there's like a little you can see the little comment and the little retweet and the little heart. If there's like any kind of comment, it will have like a little 1 or a little 2 or whatever.
Yeah, I never got these. I never saw them. He said, "Is a fraud?" Kyle Curtis audio not is. By the way, this is the NonSequitur Show. He did. By the way, he accused me of lying on my affidavit about deleting it. No, Kyle did delete the Twitter, but he undeleted it within 30 days and then changed the name of it. I mean, he's just game playing. He's just playing word games, and this is what he does. He did the same thing to Ben. I mean, basically wordplay games, try to take things out of context, will manipulate anything to his advantage. Just if you say something, and he did it to me for the last couple of years too. I have instances where he just was purposely misreading what I was saying, and I'm like, why are you doing this? Because I know he knew better. But is a fraud and has lied about everything concerning Steve McRae. He had full knowledge of the court summons, ignored them, and now claims that they were sent to an old address, which is a plan that he concocted, from what I understand, which surprised to nobody. But yeah, I didn't respond to any of these. So anybody who thinks that I had prior knowledge of these guys or of this guy, I didn't. I didn't at all.
There's something that let's say Uni brought this up on his stream, which I assume he did because that's the only way we were able to find it, right? You guys weren't able to find these on the Wayback Machine.
Well, I couldn't. I couldn't find them.
Riff couldn't, and I couldn't. I have no idea why.
If
like Uni actually went through, this is what you do, and I did what he said and couldn't find it. So
so we suck at it, but I thank Uni for finding it for us. But yeah, I couldn't find it.
Thanks, Uni.
Thanks, Uni.
If you had responded to it, those would also show up in the Wayback Machine. Why wouldn't Uni say, "Look, here's Steve responding"?
Because I don't exactly because I have never responded to the guy because I didn't know about it. Kyle forced him to take it down. To understand.
And your Twitter was locked at that time as well, Steve. Your Twitter was protected tweets. Yeah. Oh, okay. You go back in the Wayback Machine.
Maybe that would explain why I didn't get it.
Yeah, that was February. That was back when everything you shut everything down for you went private for a little while back in the height of when everybody was like, stop with the Katie Joy shit. Jesus Christ.
Right,
from about February 1st to March 16th, I think it was, you were protected.
Yeah, so I mean, how I would have, if I'm protected and he sent them to me and he's not on my friends list, how would I have gotten them? Let me explain this to me.
Don't know how it works.
Magic? It works that you don't get them.
Have protected when you're protected, people can still at you. You could see it, but you were away that you were barely on Twitter that entire month.
Yeah,
especially compared to normal. Relatively.
All right, so let me go through this real quick about how like I said, Riv, I'm gonna be showing them Ben stuff because I want people to know that. Correct. You have never talked to Ben, right?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
And the first time you ever saw any of this affidavit stuff from Ben, the first time you saw any of the problems with the signature was when?
Hang on, I've got to read out a chat message. Lady Lumo, Ruhif's voice is like the vocal satin Ambrosia's caramel of the gods.
Oh yeah,
yes.
Yeah, I can see that.
Oh dear.
Ruhif's voice is like verbal astroglide. Okay, it's just.
Is that anal loop?
Yeah.
Marty Moose also makes a really good point and says that Uni was tagged in that tweet. That's how he had it. Why didn't he share until now?
Yeah,
he probably didn't. Well, no, because it got deleted. Because, like I said, Ben said that Kyle got pissed and threatened him and had him take it down. So.
Yeah, so it may have only been up for a couple of hours, and and Uni doesn't tweet much, so all good.
All right, so let me show you guys this.
After he blocked me after trying to tweet me a bunch, and then asked me to do it, and then never said anything.
All right, so this is the first time that Ben had that I've seen message me. He says, as a witness and former Hoodwick Flame, I can attest that Kyle absolutely resided at the address where the summons was delivered. Hashtag signing surviving Kyle. This is on September 6th, and I responded to him. I really am sorry to hear about that. I had heard things but wasn't sure. I'll DM you. And the reason why I thought it was him is, well, I went on this friends list and I saw Min. Yeah. And I trust Min. Min has been a good friend of the NonSequitur Show. And I knew he was friends with Pot, so I decided to give him the benefit of the doubt that it was him. That's why.
I have never seen Min be dishonest.
I have only
ever seen him try to give way more benefit of the doubt than I ever would, which isn't a bad thing.
he was a Patreon, and he still is, of mine and of Kyle's for the very longest time, and he was very apologetic. He's like, hey, I am a Patreon to both of you guys. I hope you don't get mad at me for that. I'm like, why? Do you, boo? I didn't care. It was him. I mean, he's a nice guy. Why would it matter to me? But anyways, so I did DM him, and what's the first thing I say here? If you can look at the outside video when it comes up. And by the way, I did get explicit permission to share these from Ben, because I really hate doing it, and this is a very rare instance. I'm not prone to sharing even when I have permission. I don't like doing it, but I think this is worthy of it. But the very thing I say to him and this was on Sunday, 8:02 in the morning.
Is this actually Ben, Kyle's ex? ? Yeah, he's a narcissist asshole.
At that point, I was like, yeah, that's pretty much him.
Sorry to hear about you and Kyle. Honest, to make sure it's you, I know your Facebook, real one. Could you link it here just so I can make sure it is you, as people fake accounts all the time, unfortunately. But I think it is you, as my friend Min follows you.
Now, what time is that?
No worries, I'll link them.
What time in the morning is that?
Sunday at 8 a.m.
Okay, and what time does the Facebook page say? I'll come up a minute here. By the way, this is that word called actual evidence.
Keep in mind that's 8 a.m. PDT.
Yes.
That would be 11 EDT.
Yeah.
For anybody who cares. Oh, hey, look at that. Sunday at 8:19 a.m.
Wow. Wow. Now, I got to tell you, either I am the greatest genius in the world, which could be true. No, it's not. But I mean, it's just this is what actual evidence looks like to people. And the reason why I wanted to share this is something that I normally don't go to this extreme. I usually tell people, look, I have the information. I'll show you in private or wait for it. But I think this was important enough to show people because when I hear people like Unirock bullshitting with no evidence whatsoever, I want people to have a comparator to what actual evidence looks like.
Yeah, we've talked about that a little bit before on Caffeine Corner about like what does actual evidence look like? What would you expect to see? So if somebody says something to you like, hi, best friend, your husband is cheating on you with me. Your first reaction should be, oh my God, what? Can you give me details? Let's say they give you the details. Okay, can I see the text messages? Can I see like some kind of like evidence of this?
In fact, a good exercise, if you have an eternity, is to go back through Uni's periscopes. Every time he says the word provably,
He never does. He never once does. Not once.
Take a shot.
Not once. That's what's so funny. He literally, and again, I've been watching his periscopes. God help my soul. But he actually said, Ruhif, it is provable they've had this information since February. Fuck you, Uni. You are a fucking ridiculously inept commentator. I hope to God people only watch you for entertainment purposes, because I'm not going to say don't watch him, because that would be bad. Watch him. I don't give a shit. But know when you watch him, he's bullshitting you. That's what he does. He's a legit LARPing
He's
bullshit.
a joke of a human. Yeah, LARPing is a good word, but it's... when I say he's a joke, I don't mean he's funny.
No, I don't think
he's a fucking joke of a human being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, if people want to watch that kind of stuff, knock yourself out and be entertained from it.
Yeah, entertainment. Yeah, absolutely.
Send him vape juice money. Send him smoke money. I don't give a shit. But if you want to have a discussion with me and argue that he's a competent commentator that gets things right, I will have that discussion with you.
He's an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you've just insulted every idiot out there. I wouldn't put him that high.
I hope the people that listen to him think that they might be actual idiots if they think that he's actually an honest, informed person.
When I'm sitting there reading the chat of his periscopes, I'm sitting there wondering, is this whole thing a LARP? Like, are all the people in the chat like LARPing as well, or do they actually believe?
Yeah, some of them.
Wow, it's phenomenal.
We got a question from Wells that asks, did Kyle's mom sign anything besides the served papers? Any paper that confirmed he was living elsewhere? If so, does this mean she's going to be in trouble for false court documents?
That's possible. She signed an affidavit to the court, which, I think is legit at this moment, that said Kyle lived with his boyfriend up until, she signed it on the 28th of July. She's in a really good position to know, where Kyle lived. If he lived at home, she would know that, obviously. So, yeah, she might be in trouble.
It's ripe for It's ripe for another time, as they would say in legalese.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. But we're not. I even told Ruhif, and I don't being public is. Let's wait on that. There's other things of priority right now, but there is a possibility of that. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Potentially.
There's potential liability there. Yes.
There's a feeling when you potentially have thrown your own mother under the bus and have to perjure herself, and she does.
No, there's also the possibility that she signed something and then Kyle forged it. That's a possibility as well.
At this point, I put nothing past anybody with him.
There's reason to suspect like a bajillion different things at this point.
God's auditor says, I'm still not sure what advantage you would have had holding on to this information until this late in the game. Yeah, like I had prepared that he was going to get a lawyer, that I had prepared that it was going to be a coronavirus, that I had prepared that they have 7 motions before we actually decided to put this evidence in.
Yeah,
the whole narrative is ridiculous.
Go back by now so we could actually, be doing the
I would have fired my lawyer if he would have suggested something as idiotic as that.
Oh, yeah. No, that would just be the dumbest thing.
But this is what they think. This is what Unirock literally said. I don't know shit about the law. I've been transparent about that, and yet he's pontificating on legal issues about the whole proof of service, like he has a fucking clue when he didn't know a goddamn thing about the law.
It would have been nice actually to have it decided on the merits.
Yeah, but we would have won on the merits. We would win on the merits alone. I
wanted to see the service issue decided on the merits, like our argument that it didn't matter whether he lived there because we got the presumption. That's not going to happen now. So anyway,
well, you know what?
Go
ahead.
God's auditor is asking, what if both Kyle's mom and Ben were telling the truth? That would mean Kyle was technically homeless.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I found out he didn't even have a car, so he wasn't living in a car. He was taking the bus and the train to go see Ben. So I mean, I don't think he has a home or a car. I don't know what the hell's going on at this point.
Doctor actually makes a good point, saying either Ben or Miss Curtis is lying. Ben's got very little to gain from it, but Kyle's mom has a tremendous amount to gain.
No, I don't think. I mean, it doesn't have to work that way. They both could be telling the truth. They both could be lying. One could be telling the truth, and one could be lying. Or Kyle forged all of it. Who the hell knows? There's just no way.
Super Mommy says, Mom, Steve's picking on me again.
Very cool.
But here's the thing that we talk about in Caffeine Corner. There's a ring of truth, right? I did my due diligence, and I don't need to give you the whole conversation I had with Ben, but I asked him the pertinent questions.
There's something to be said.
Everything was consistent.
We also did an episode called when do you lose the principle of charity? Kyle no longer has the principle of charity in any way, shape, or form. There's no reason for us to suspect that he's telling the truth at this point. And there's very good reason to suspect that he's lying. So why would we be charitable and assume he's telling the truth about things? The answer is we wouldn't. We're not necessarily going to assume he's lying about every single thing, but we're not going to assume he's telling the truth either, which means everything is suspect at that point. But with Ben, that history of being a lying shitbag is not there.
Yeah, it's with Kyle. It's like it's not trust and then verify. It's just fucking verify.
Yeah, William says, I wish you had also asked Ben why Kyle was gritting his teeth so hard on that one stream. I know it would be irrelevant, but I will be optic confirmation of what we suspected. What makes you think I didn't?
Yeah. Think
what you want off that.
Is a pretty good sign.
And look, with Kyle's mum, I mean, it's natural for a parent to want to protect their child. You know, that's you can understand that. So, you know, I probably wouldn't. You know, I wouldn't hold her in the same league as Kyle, but I mean, it's pretty obvious. I mean, she's lied. I would say it's pretty obvious that she's lied.
You know, I'm gonna get worst case. Well, not worst case, but best case. I think I'm gonna again get principle of charity because I think I don't know this woman. I think Kyle theoretically could have duped her into saying, "Hey, look, I stayed at his place a week or two at a time. Therefore, I was technically living there as well." Because this is what he tried to do with Ben, right? Oh, but I was living there. He's like, well, no, you weren't. And then he's like, well, never mind. I think he probably pulled the wool over his mom's eyes to make her actually believe he was living in both places.
Yeah.
Possible, quite possible, right?
It's also very, very possible that Kyle does not act as brazen in person in real life as he does on the internet, as brazenly, obviously egocentric and obviously lying, because it's very much easier for us to go back and look at what he said and double check it, whereas in person that's not necessarily as easy to do, and he may just not be as aggressively stupid in real life.
Yeah, no, he has a lot of bravado on the internet. I mean, but Ben said, again, I have permission from Ben to relate anything. Ben had said that Kyle was embarrassed that his mom had to sign for it. So, I mean, he probably does want his mom not to think poorly of him. But yeah, he is a crying little crybaby in real life, from understand. He kept begging Ben to get back with him. He's been supposedly harassing him. So it's just like, yeah, the image he puts forth on the internet is a false bravado. And I said this. I've even said this how many times?
It's okay. The new narrative is just going to be, oh my God, Steve and his friends are ganging up on Kyle's mom.
Yeah, that's going to be the takeaway.
Where like it's, you know, he's, you know, just abusing dead Kennedy in space, you know, calling someone Muppet, all these aggressive, unnecessarily aggressive tweets to people, putting them down, shows how scared he is, really.
And when did I not say that before he even had all this stuff that came up this week? I even said, look, he has a false bravado. I've dealt with the guy for a year and a half, and he projection onto other people. He's like, oh, look, Steve's a narcissist. Steve, you know, is this and doing that. I'm like, dude, this is like you in a nutshell. You're just blaming it's me. That we've already explained this, why this works this way. And then he said, like, well, Steve has every trait of a narcissist. I'm like, can you tell me what a trait would be? Because I guarantee it, he has it. Well, for a high functioner, or maybe.
You could both be narcissists. Just because you have it doesn't mean he doesn't. Helios for 10 said, Kyle could be lying to them both, could be telling the truth to the best of their knowledge. For all we know, Kyle just spends the night with whomever he picks up at the corner every night. And got yeah. As a chef, Kyle gives a whole new meaning to a signature dish.
Oh man,
nice one.
That's bad. I'm gonna refund that. That was best. That's a bad joke. No, okay, that was good. Thank you for that, Jeff.
Typical scammer.
But Helios has a good point. You know, I don't know, and unlike Uni, I'm not gonna bullshit and pontificate on shit that I don't have any information on. I just give you my opinion. That's fine. But there's nothing wrong with giving an opinion. But see, Unirock in that crowd, they put opinions as fact.
If you say this is my opinion, there's absolutely 0% chance you can get done for defamation, slander, or libel. Just keep saying in your opinion. That's a joke, by the way.
Yeah, it doesn't really work that way because, yeah, I don't know how that would actually be not. There are such things like there's such things like what's called defamation per se, but Unirock flirts that line, though. I mean, in fact, I think Cheshire asked Drew that question because he maybe, in my opinion, defamed Ruhif, possibly.
Yeah, I think that.
Payment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
That is attacking your
question.
character. That you bribed a witness.
Yeah.
And why'd you give him? Why'd you give? You only offered me 20,000, or do the you didn't offer, but you're like, well, I could give Steve 20 grand, or I can, well, where's the fun of that? And I even told you, dude, I rather see justice.
I'll say. Yeah.
And I don't know if you meant that as a serious offer or not. I don't think you did. But
I
even as a
haven't
joke,
offered any money.
it's like,
Shit.
I want justice.
Same. That's why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I've been working, helping out, and doing this shit, and trying to put forward work in an effort to make NonSequitur survive, and like the name and the shit to keep going, which is one of the reasons why we do Caffeine Corner and shit, so that way we're back and ready and raring to go.
Yeah, but we did not expect this to go this long. I mean, this, Kyle was like,
I want to cut.
You want to wait? What you want to what?
I said I want to cut. Where's
cut.
my money? I didn't get offered shit.
Sign the LLC.
you made more than most. I've seen how much I've sent you. But
don't worry, Chesh. We'll talk later, and we'll plot together to steal the channel from him.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's good.
I just pay you off too, by the way. But Kyle and then we're saying, well, Steve could have done NonSequitur on his channel all the time. No, it doesn't work that way. That was not the point of that.
Yeah, it's just like, Steve could go and start a new channel. Oh, does that mean Kyle stealing 25, 30 grand is okay?
Right.
Like, is
Right,
that
exactly? I mean, it's just the dumbest thing I've ever heard. How you thought that worked?
ridiculous? Ash Scott is asking, have we talked about the barcode yet?
Just a little bit. I mean, if you want to watch that, go look at Red's video. He goes over the brief and explains it. He doesn't get into the specifics of it, but basically on the barcode, what happened was Ruhif the other day said, "Hey, there's a barcode that's on top of this letter, and I've decoded it, and I put it into this reader thing here, and I want to put it in this reader thing." He was talking to me on real time, and the zip code came up, right, and it was 27313.
Yep.
And
Ruhif
he lost his shit. He's like, he's done. He's done. Kyle's going to prison. Fuck this. He's done. Game over. I've never seen Ruhif this happy. He legit. The happiness this man had it made me it warmed the cockles of my heart to see Ruhif this happy.
Yeah.
Well, Peter Harrington does say, "I'm just glad that you are in the position that you are, so that you can."
I am humbled to death. Ruhif is an actual real
I don't know,
friend.
but I'm a was it dishonorable businessman? Stolen. Yeah.
Yeah. This is how good I am. I planned 3 years ago when you and I have been talking about genetics. This is actually how I got to deal with you.
5 years ago.
Was it 5
years ago?
Oh shit, it has been.
Yeah.
Steve lived. It was 5 years. Steve, you fucking liar.
It's been a long goddamn time, and so that's how. I didn't know he
came here in 2016.
I didn't know he didn't tell me until even later on that he had some money. But it was like I liked him because we had a lot in common about genetics, or at least I liked his argument on the whole human chromosome too. I did actually disagree with him, and guess what? He didn't block me because we used to argue.
Did you just hear that? Steve admitted they were similar in genetics. That means they're twinsies.
I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think that Ruhif changed his mind because I had argued that human chromosome 2 fusion was actual evidence for common ancestry, and you argued that it wasn't.
Rational mind.
Yes.
So Rational Mind put out a Bayesian inference argument,
yes.
And I am now.
And I agreed with the Rational Mind, and you didn't.
Yeah, slightly on the fence, leaning towards yes, that's actual positive evidence.
It's at least a good argument, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I couldn't disprove it, so sure.
So that's how I got to know Ruhif.
Macabre for 5
before. You do that one, Chesh, and then I'll explain.
Yeah, okay.
Uni's next narrative: Steve built a sexy robot named it Ben and used it to infiltrate Kyle's life as a sleeper agent. Ben is not a real human.
No, that's Cheshire.
Yeah. So Uni's narrative, and who else says it? People have said it. That Steve latched onto me, knew I was rich, and then when I had cancer in 2016, buddied up to me and checked in on me all the time, and just as a long-term plan to have me as like a useful tool. Steve and I have been friends since about 2015.
Yeah, it has been about
when I go to LA now, I hang out with Steve and do like day trips. It's awesome.
He came to my house when he was sick, and by the way, he looked so much better the second trip. No offense, but you kind of looked like death warmed over when you first came down here.
I did, absolutely.
And so, but the second trip, and I felt bad. Okay, this is how bad I am. I will admit this. We were doing surveying stuff, and I just was not feeling too hot. I mean, it was a long trip, and I had the guy that just got over cancer hauling this fucking equipment. Even though I helped him a little, before, but I couldn't take the heat. I was just done. But he was like, "Oh no, I got it," and I thought he was gonna be back in like 15 minutes. Like an hour later, and I was like feeling so bad that he had to lug this equipment by himself, and I was like, "Fuck that! I'm sorry."
That was fucking hot that day.
It was hot as shit, dude.
Yeah.
So wow. Once again, Uni's narratives and Uni's bullshit stories just do not correspond with reality, at all, like cool. Legit all.
At the end of the day is when we do non sequitur again, there's going to have to be a special segment that's just a super duper thank you from all of the fans and all of us who work on things to Ruhif directly, and that's just going to have to be like stay on that channel forever.
Oh, without question,
in perpetuity.
Yeah, purple titties. Oh, good. Thank you.
One thing I do like about Ruhif that
did you say purple titties?
Ruhif loves. This is what I love. It bugs me. He loves the challenge. He loves dealing with these fucking idiots. To him, it's like dealing with flat earthers. You really, for some reason, get off just playing these mind games with them, but you're dealing with like children. There's like grade level apples, on the ground rotting fruit. I'm sorry. I mean, you need a better challenge than these people.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
We all have our hobbies, don't we?
No, I'm not faulting. Hey, look, I'm not faulting. I mean, it makes me happy. But
Little Red for 5 said, "I'm so excited about this. Finally for you at Steve and Golden Unicorn sent hearts for 149.
Thank you guys. Thank you, Little Red.
It's great, but we're kind of in a position where me and Ruhif both do that. The only reason I don't with like Nate and Agrippa, otherwise I would, is because I was specifically asked not to by the community, and being in the position I am, I kind of can't. And because like Red's rhetoric had specifically asked not to because they kept bringing up his dead friend, and I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna go and have arguments with people talking about your dead friend that I don't know, like I never met this person.
That's true story.
And perpetuate that kind of conversation at the time period, which is why the majority of the people that are on my block list because of that are even there in the first place. Like, I would not have blocked Keon otherwise. I fucking love Keon.
That's no joke. I used to bitch about that with Chesire. I'm like, look, I want nothing to do with the guy. I would never be around him. He is one of the most despicable people on the planet. Just like, but he's so cute. It's just like, I just want to pinch his little cheeks and with the dumb things he says. I'm like, but he's a horrible human being.
He's adorable.
You're no, dude.
I don't know.
Dude,
Adorable.
He's just not.
Painful.
Like I know Agrippa. Agrippa is probably probably the biggest troll out of a lot of them.
Oh yeah,
I think he gets some enjoyment out of trolling. Menace
is hilarious.
Yeah,
Agrippa is a professional troll. That's what he does.
Well, but he's a bit of a troll sometimes.
He wants to argue the facts, but doesn't even know the first thing. What
he engaged me on the service issue, and that was good. Fucking Sally.
I don't even know who that person is. That's somebody.
She was one I spent a couple of hours in that afternoon.
I think you were sea lined. I don't know who that person is. I don't
even know what that word means, by the way. Can someone give me a definition of sea lining?
Cheshire. See what should we call us from our last shows?
Being put on. Basically, it's when somebody asks you. Tries to appear to be asking you honest questions in a dishonest manner and for dishonest reasons.
Yeah.
That's what Agrippa was doing with me.
Oh yeah, Agrippa is one of the biggest trolls on the internet. I mean, seriously, that's what he does.
I don't know why. He's turning 60 soon. Like, what is he doing?
I don't know. Same thing with Batty. He's got nothing better to do.
No, I get the impression that he's just a drama queen.
Yeah, he's a drama queen.
They're getting to the point where they're so old they can't even occupy themselves by fapping anymore. I don't know.
Paul says it's an older code, but it doesn't check out. What's an older code?
He's making a Star Wars.
I think it's Star Wars reference.
Star Wars reference.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, what's he talking about?
God damn it, Steve.
I don't know. I didn't know what he was
Keon
talking
is
about.
absolutely a horrible human. Yes, Amy, you're correct. Keon is absolutely a horrible human being.
Yeah, matter of fact, hey, I'm very happy Little Red is having a very successful channel. But I even told her I'm not going to really be around if she allows Keon around. But I guess Keon's no longer around, so I'm happy to be around. But I will not be around. That guy is one of the most despicable people on the planet. It's like, hey, why don't you hang out with somebody who's like, abused, you physically? No, you don't hang out with people like this. I do not want to be around them. He is a vile, disgusting human being to me. And so I'm not going to be around channels. But I'm not. But I never said. But I never told her you can't. You can't have them. I said I prefer you don't. But that's your channel. What?
It's like I'll hang out with Keon. I'm not gonna call him on the weekend. Like, fuck that. Letty says that apparently that high guy thinks something like having a substance problem once means a person's testimony is inadmissible. Oh, if that's the case, then I guess anything
absolutely
that Kyle's
irrelevant. Yeah, that's.
What was that quote? It wasn't from that high guy. It was from someone else in the scope yesterday or the YouTube. I bet this is all fabricated by Steve.
You know what? Let's just go with that, because you know what? If I gotta tell you, if this was all fabricated to me, I own you all. I am the greatest Machiavellian genius in the history that has been planning this for like 20 years of my life.
Yeah, Steve. If you've literally planned all of this that long and completely fooled me, then congratulations.
I'm probably gonna regret this, you know what it is, but I mean, just because I think it's appropriate right now. Chesire got a chance to even talk to my daughter the other day for quite a substantial period of time.
Yeah, we were chatting.
Yeah. Did not everything that we talked about been validated from the things I've always said? I mean, my daughter's been knowing all about this stuff. So this whole thing about me bringing up my daughter to like weigh people. No, I talked to my daughter frequently, and it was never to manipulate anybody. I did tell her this in 2018, long before the thing broke up. That this was I was trying to get something for her from some kind of residual when she was in college.
These people don't understand what residuals mean. They seem to be under the impression that Steve would have been paid and he would have given it to his daughter. No, that's not.
I figured it wasn't been going on for that long. It would have been 3 years from now. And this guy Peter Riley was like, well, if there was residuals, it would only been about $100-200 a month, maybe. I'm like, yeah, but that's beer money for my daughter. It may not be a lot of money to him.
That could be her internet payment. That could be covering anything.
I mean, I don't understand that. I mean, like I said, my daughter's like me. We're very frugal.
And investing it somewhere if she wanted to. Like it's completely irrelevant to the
argument. But this is the guy that also said, well, they're only fighting over 60,000. It's like
only.
Pretty much,
only 60,000 relative because he's writing for Forbes, right? But it's also like that's not the only thing they're fighting over. Right. One World Angel for $4.99 said, "So happy for you today, Steve. Heart, heart, heart." And Kyle's disappointed mom, who's back. Hi, Kyle's disappointed mom. For $5 said, "I feel like we should be hearing the Mortal Kombat announcer about now, or at least the music. Finish it."
Yeah, I mean, they're still going to be like, oh, there's 5 more days. They can do a Hail Mary. I can tell you right now, that is not going to happen. There's no chance in God's green earth. You really have to be an idiot to think that the motion to dismiss the judgment at this point will be granted. It's just not even on the cards on the table. We are really more focused on the contempt. We're focused on the any criminal aspects, because even the testimony alone of Ben, the judge has to say, well, either Ben's lying or Kyle's lying. Who has been the person who has been in contempt this entire time? Who's the person who told me they were going to delete the Twitter channel? Who's the person who's basically ignored my directives? I mean, come on. I mean, yeah.
If Steve is the mastermind here, then he is literally a prophet. So praise Jeebus.
Yeah, I could start my own cult if that's the case, like legit full-on cult.
I'm gonna break the. I'm gonna pull the curtain back here real quick and just be like, Steve would be shit at this.
She would be the person doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Steve is good at some things. There are things that Steve is good at. This is not one of them.
But I don't claim to be. That's the thing. That's not my jam.
If the court has seen the barcodes, right, they know that this is fraudulent. Whether it's procedurally correct or not, they are not going to allow someone to defraud the court. Yeah. There's no chance these motions to strike are going to be set aside.
Yeah,
are going to be granted, sorry.
Yeah.
It's just
and by the way, don't you think...
And they're evaluating the evidence that Kyle has put forward. So Kyle's put forward this evidence. On the evidence, there's evidence that fraud's been committed, or potentially fraud's been committed. It's there the whole time.
Well, it's a weird argument to go with, right? Because they're trying to argue that, hey, this stuff isn't relevant to what Kyle has submitted, so it should be ignored. How is me saying his submission is fake and have nothing to do with his submission?
I don't know. Like I said, I mean, I think he has to be lying to his lawyer to some degree, because he has to be going, hey, look, I didn't forge anything. Okay, she's going to put that in there. I don't think she asked him any, like, where's the evidence that you didn't? Like, there isn't. We racked our minds. How could he have possibly this not be the case? I mean, just nothing adds up. Nothing adds up.
No, they're coming up with these bizarre excuses like, oh, maybe the software at the bank, like when he updated his address at the bank and it didn't update the barcode. I'm like,
no,
that's not how it works.
Really simple. If fraud hasn't been committed, you can get it from the bank saying, here is when I changed my address details. Here is the evidence. The bank can confirm it. If there's some barcode issue or some stuff like that, the bank will confirm it.
I mean, they say, well, it takes time to update. Well, okay, if that takes time to update, you still have a barcode that's a different zip than this. It's going to go to the wrong freaking place.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Where's the next one? Like, bring out the next statement.
Yeah.
Well, and
I want him to get a genuine one. If he gets a genuine one and like the font is the same in the address field and it's all caps and it's abbreviated
this
Road
was not
Avenue.
all caps, but I will tell you the fonts are the entire same. This is from a Discovery.
Yeah.
The fonts. This is Discover. I don't have Discover. This is an offer. I used to get about 6 of these a week, and then I had to actually go onto a web page where you could opt out of that shit.
Yep.
And I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. You get a lot of bad bank mail stuff. You can go to a site, put your information in there, and they can't send it to you longer. Because I was getting a Discover card offer like all the freaking time, and it's all the same font. And they use it that they don't just have the 6 or the 5-digit zip. They have the 4-code extension too, but that's not encoded in the.
No, there was another one. Maybe to save postage costs, Discover send all the statements to their local branch to distribute from there. And I was like,
it doesn't explain why that PDF is editable.
Going to send it to a small town.
Real quick, anybody can go in and do this. You can go right now to the North Carolina Business Court, go to ECF 20, go to Kyle's filing, which by the way was pro se, so no lawyer checked any of this stuff. Go to the Discover thing, take that, put it in Adobe Pro if you have it, and lo and behold, you could edit the information in there.
Yeah, it's not actually a mailed paper.
It's not mailed, it's PDF.
It's obviously an electronic PDF. So even if it's not forged, right, it's still not evidence that he received mail that address.
Yeah, no. Ben had said he did change his Discover over eventually. Again, he said anything
January.
prior. Yeah,
January would be interesting.
I don't remember the date he said, but he said anything in August is ridiculous. He's like, we didn't even have a first date until then. I mean, he's like, that's all forged.
Yeah. Well, that's the evidence of first date would be great. Yeah.
There's also something to be said for if Kyle was actually able to demonstrate it. If Kyle was able to say, no, look, here's the physical copy, this is what it has, and the thing is just wrong, then guess what we would do?
Like,
I guess okay, we'll retract that.
And by the way, I would be just fine with that as far as, look, we did our due diligence to make sure that this was accurate, that there was a discrepancy, that we looked into every possible detail. We online with Chris and Landon put it in Adobe Pro.
I would immediately rectify it, go back, retract it, and be like, no, this wasn't the case. This is what was found out. This is what he was able to present. Here's what was wrong and why it was wrong.
Isn't that how a court case works?
Normally.
Show me one time that any of these dumbass motherfuckers have ever done that shit.
Zero.
In regards to garbage. None.
Yeah. Well, here's a rule of thumb. Like when Unirock says it's proven, that means he has no evidence for it.
Provable.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Just I deny all allegations. That's it. Like it's bollocks. They didn't even mention the barcode in that response or that motion this morning.
They said that she wasn't an expert.
It doesn't take an expert to look at a C and look at another C and go, oh, they're different. Like, fucking ridiculous.
The R, where the end bit of the argument is from a completely different spot. I mean, it's blatant. I mean, it's close, but the other thing too is the A's. So the lowercase A's are a different.
Is there a lowercase A?
They're completely different style.
Yeah, the sans serif, the super sans serif is a different A style. Matter of fact, I looked at that on my piece of mail too. The A is all consistent throughout. The fonts are definitely, like I said, different. It's weird that the whole document is one font except for that 2 lines of address. Again, that could be theoretically explained. I don't know how, but
in a possible world, Steve.
In some possible world, you're learning. In some possible world, that's the case. But the zip code issue, Reg himself went to the post office and said, "Can you scan this? How would this be different?" They're like, "It just wouldn't be. It just." And so there's enough evidence. There's enough reason to why we brought it to the court's attention. It's not like we were trying to have a gotcha, and it's just like this is something that
needed.
And the court agrees. The court right now is looking into it. They agree. There's enough to warrant further looking into. That's why the clerk is doing it itself. That's why they have another 5 days as well. So don't get worried that the thing was postponed for 5 days. It's not that big a deal. If they really wanted to give them a whole bunch of time, they probably would have given them a couple week extension.
It's really only just to let the court have a look at the barcode and for Kyle's side to say,
And by the way, if Ruth can figure this out, anybody can, right? No, I'm kidding. But I mean, no, seriously, it doesn't take a genius. I'm sorry, but you are a genius. But it doesn't take one to look at that and decode it. I mean, it tells you how to do it.
People in the chat who have also done it themselves. You did it by yourself.
I did it.
So I mean, we're not just making this stuff up. So
no, it's damning. Like it's the end.
It's extremely damning.
Yeah. So I don't know what else the court would want. I really don't have any idea. We have him in his own words saying that he received the papers. We have his own words that he was ready to rumble and that he was going to respond. What, Chesh?
The original papers.
The original. Yeah, I mean, I mean, I've asked everybody, what possible evidence would the court need when we're talking about a civil case? We're not even talking about a criminal. There's enough evidence right now to basically make it into a criminal thing, and he would be found guilty probably just on what we have now in a criminal sense of the term, which is preponderance of the beyond a reasonable doubt. We just have to have a preponderance of the evidence here. That he was
even on criminal standard, the criminal standard he was going to lose on perjury for the forgery. It's beyond a reasonable doubt.
I believe as well, but we'll let the criminal court system.
So you're saying that it's provable?
You mean with evidence, with that
provably,
E-word?
Provably, allegedly provable. Provably.
And I feel bad for Ben because, again, he spelled his name wrong. He spelled his... I thought something was odd because he spelled it with one T.
Yeah,
and when you looked at the Ben signature, his real one, because he said, that's not my signature. He said, I'll send you a copy of my signature. I said, well, I'll just get it when you have it notarized. Not notarized, I mean, when you sign the affidavit, because I told him you don't need it notarized. And he was really, when he laid on it, because he thought he had to print it out and manually do it. I said, no, you can actually sign it through Adobe, which is fine. And when we looked at the signatures, I'm like, you could tell that Kyle, as an artist, was trying to forge his signature and just dicked it all up because he only put one T in there. The UT is a similar.
Graphic design is not what you need to be trained in for forging documents and signatures.
In fact, for a graphic designer, he did a pretty bad job.
Calligraphy is what you need. Godless Comer for 5 says, philosophical question, is there some possible world where Unirock actually gets things right?
That's a logical impossibility. That is an impossible world, is called, yes. But yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think that the Adobe Pro was bought by the NonSequitur fans for Kyle. They bought the suite for him, if I'm not mistaken.
Nice.
So you see, the problem is he only forged 95% of it. He needed you for the other 5%.
Right, yeah.
All right, so I think you guys got enough information here. I don't want to go too much longer, but I will take some questions. I will, like I said, after the hearing, release a bunch of other stuff, some of which I never released before. I know people in here have seen it, but when they say, oh, well, we didn't have evidence of this, of course I have evidence for everything. I mean, do you think that all these people that know me, that have been supporting me, that have been my inner circle, which doesn't really exist, I mean, Cheshire, Bull, Reds, Glenn, and a few other people. Sure, if you want to call them my inner circle, great. They are my closest friends. I love them. I'll give them both my kidneys if it wouldn't kill me. But even then, I probably wouldn't care. But sure, call them my inner circle. But you know what? It's not just them that have seen this stuff. I've shown it to other people as well. I mean, for fuck's sake.
This is a group of people who think an inner circle aren't just. It can't be that, oh, we're all just friends, so we hang out and work together on projects, because these people don't fucking have friends. They don't know what it's like to have friends. So the only possible explanation is the shit that they know, which means that, hey, we don't actually like each other, but we are a group of people that work together specifically for a common goal, because our common goal is to hate Steve because we don't like each other. We're not friends.
There was quite a lot of hate in the chat for Kyle. What was it, on Nate's stream yesterday? The switch from Kyle's a fucking fantastic guy to, oh shit, Kyle's fucked.
Hey, look, I am absolutely. I am no fan of Nate. I think he's been dishonest from day one. I think he is going where the wind's blowing. But I am convinced, with every fiber of my being, he knows Kyle fucked up. He knows Kyle did all this. He knows Kyle didn't move. He knows that he forged. He knows. I am convinced. Now, could I be wrong? Sure, but I tell you what, I would bet money that. He knows. Yeah. He knows.
I mean, Kyle, Nate gave you a super chat early in the stream. You see that?
No.
I gave you a $10 super chat. MP Resurrection. Apparently, MP Resurrection is not blocked on the channel. He gave you a $10 super chat and said,
"Is that MP?"
Yes. Oh yeah, we read that.
I didn't know it was MP, and that's fine. Don't block him. Look, again, I used to be friends with MP. Multiple personalities is what that stands for, and. The reason why I don't talk about Nate, and Nate can know this, the reason why I don't talk about Nate is pretty simple. I really liked the guy at the time. We were friends. And when I have a friend fuck me over the way he did, when I have a friend like him tell me the only reason why he's continuing to fuck with me is because people had told him they wanted him to fight me to the death on it, and he was to troll me on it. I just don't want to talk about people that like that. I don't want to do it. It hurts. And for all the fuckery that when people told him he was wrong about his logic, and he still goes on about it, he still says, I've defeated Steve on this. He knows he's full of shit. I have his messages saying, Steve, you were right about this all the entire time, 100%. You and Ozzy were right about this. But you know what? People wanted me to continue to argue with you. I'm sorry, I have no respect for that man. None. And then he would go to my Facebook page and make fake accounts to troll me and Bull. I'm sorry, MP. You know you fucked up on that. You know you did some dishonest, shady shit. That's why I don't talk about you.
Yeah,
very good.
Is there
questions in the chat?
So get the questions out, because I'm fine answering these things, because I don't like talking about certain things. And again, people that I've considered to be my friends, people like Jim, people like Nick, it hurts. It really bothers me that things have happened where they become such shitty human beings, where they've just embraced the fuckery of people and thinking that these somehow are amazingly honorable people. Like, look at ProLib. The guy was a piece of freaking shit. And yet he was embraced by people. He actually tried to say that I had Medi-Cal fraud, right? And when I asked him, what's your evidence for that? He's like, none. I'm like, and did anything happen on that? No. Because there was no fraud to be had.
That's the point. If people have these allegations, there are channels through which you can make these allegations officially. I assume multiple people have.
Yes, right? Of course they have.
Nothing's happened.
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing's happened, because nothing fucking happened.
Absolutely fucking nothing. And here's the thing, though. When I was going after him on that, he didn't care. He didn't even care. He didn't even give an apology. He's like, they told me they would get back to me if they found anything. And I said, did they? No. Well, no shit.
Yeah.
Shocker to nobody. But Kyle needed some bullshit. He misunderstood what I was saying, and I think he willfully did that. He did the same thing to even Ben. He took a quote from Ben and said, well, you said this. It's like, well, that's not what I wasn't meaning it like that. He's like, but you said, what did he say on one of his screenshots? Oh yeah, you were even living. You were here at the time. You thought it was all funny because you were here at the time. He's like, yeah, but that doesn't mean he was living with me. He was just over there at the time.
Camping out, I think, was the phrase.
Yeah. All right, what other questions we got? Let's go for another. I don't know, not too much longer.
People are asking for about poutine.
That's your ballpark in a church.
Mike said, I watched Nate's video. He basically said he's Team Steve now and always thought that Steve should have gotten paid.
That's probably true.
I want to address this one real quick, if I can address this. I said earlier, and I'm going to say it again, when you back and assist someone in this kind of behavior, you are no longer a passive observer just talking about both sides. Nate has never been a neutral party in this endeavor. He actively assisted Kyle. He actively assisted in these situations and people trolling in the past. He actively brought up the dead as a weapon against Steve and others. There's screenshots of this. This was happening last year. He doesn't get to just be like, oh, but I think Steve should have gotten paid and therefore I'm the good guy. Fuck you.
No, I agree with you on that, but I don't think he ever...
Let me finish. Shove it up your ass. You need to apologize, explain why you were wrong, how are you wrong, rectify it, retract it, and then start making good. Then you can pretend that you're Team Steve or that you were fucking neutral. You have to work. You need to start working to get to be neutral anymore. Because
there is a question. There's a question as well as to who actually told nice one, good rant. Who actually told Kyle to pretend that he'd moved? And I'm not saying it was Nate, but if it was Nate, there's a legal issue there for him because he's a lawyer.
Well, I mean, I'm convinced. I don't know the specifics. But you know what's so funny? Because I even said before, somebody had asked me, well, did Kyle get a lawyer? I'm like, yeah, Nate's his lawyer. And I wasn't being serious. I know I'm not an idiot. I know you can't get a New York lawyer for North Carolina. Of course I was being a little hyperbolic, right? But I had reasons to believe that he was talking to Nick. Now, again, Nick goes, Nate. Well, he wasn't talking to me about this. But Nate, I'm sorry. But I think he was talking about him at some point, whether it was a casual conversation or not, I don't know. But I had reasons to believe this. It wasn't like I just pulled this out of my fucking ass, but I never thought he was his actual lawyer. That would have been ridiculous. But I'm going to show this. This did not age well. Nate said there was no business.
Yeah.
That's what he said. There's no business. I'm showing the screenshot on the outside.
Benjamin Potts is here.
Oh, cool.
It's in the chat.
Yeah, and so let me do this real quick. And Nick says, I will say this. While I don't abdicate my own judgment to the judgment of others, when Nate and I disagree on law, smart money is on Nate every time. And I appreciate him indulging me on this and other issues. Nick, you picked the wrong horse too.
We could actually have Benjamin Potts in the chat here. It links to a YouTube channel that was created 10th of February, the same as the Twitter.
Yeah, no, that's Ben.
It is. All right.
Yay!
Hi, Ben. Yeah. First time we've spoken.
Hi, Ben. We always got to make sure it's actually the person. He also specified. He said using the word squatting and refusing to leave is not the definition of residency.
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah, Ben, do you want the link to get in? I can send it to you on Twitter. No, Ben, I'm telling you, the dude has been nothing but civil and nice. I really, as much as I can't stand Kyle, I feel so bad for what he did to Ben, involving him in this. I
haven't spoken with Benjamin yet, and I am so sad because I was told I was not allowed to talk to him yet because I was not allowed to have any fun. And as soon as I got to talk to him, I would get to have fun, and I'm not allowed doing that.
You could talk to him on Vitamin right now. Hi, Ben, check your Twitter. Come on in. And then
I need to see if he can answer one very important question about Kyle. I need to know what his budget was for hair gel.
No, that tweet that Kyle made, it was like, who wore the mop better? And there was a response under it said, Kyle looks like a badly made sex doll. And I just fucking lost my mind. That was great.
I think I remember somebody saying he looked like a potato.
I love this. This is brilliant. Benjamin says, ask me a question about Kyle that may or may not know, and I'll prove it. And Min says, what's your dog's name?
Oh.
See, I knew Ben. See, this is what I'm saying. I knew Min knew him, right? This is when Unirock was saying, well, of course that's Steve on an alt account. He's faking to people this, making it sound like, there's some last minute stuff. And he made an account named Ben. And I'm like, no, I saw that he was friends with Min.
Insect says you're assuming that he kept track of how much he spent on hair gel. I mean, you're good point. He didn't keep track of any of the other funds. I guess I shouldn't expect to know that.
But I mean, I also have Ben's Twitter. I just sent him the
link.
Ben says, "Fuck if I know." He probably doesn't have a dog. I don't know. But I mean, if that's the real Ben, then
he's got a dog. Yeah.
I gave him the link. So if that is the Ben, he'll pop in. Because there's only I know.
Oh, you sent him the link on the Facebook, yeah.
Well, on Twitter.
He said he's downloading. I assume downloading Google Meets.
Probably.
I don't know. Downloading something.
I don't understand.
Sure, Siri.
I said he's downloading Google Meets.
Hello, Siri.
Is that Siri?
Yeah. Hey, Siri, I love you.
I think you're pretty great too.
Wait, Siri's got an Australian accent?
Yeah,
I can do this.
set
Wait.
the voice on it.
Hey, Cortana, tell me a joke.
I told the doctor I broke my arm in 2 places. He told me not to go into those places.
This is better.
You guys couldn't hear that. But...
Hey?
Oh, I asked Siri to tell me a joke. She told the audience.
The Aussie voice is always better.
Yeah.
Yeah. No 2 ways about that.
Can I also point out that what I was saying about Nate applies to pretty much anybody who's tried to be neutral about this? If you've been silent about this and you were ever part of that channel in any way, shape, or form, go fuck yourself.
No, I'm not gonna. I don't know if I'm gonna go that far. Look,
That's
I understand why there's reasons why people want to be neutral. I don't care, and there's people that even told me privately. They said, "Hey, Steve."
Steve, no, that's not what I'm saying.
Oh. Yeah.
I'm saying being not real neutral. This I'm being neutral in quotes.
Like feign neutral.
Oh, well, if somebody asked me a question about it, oh, well, I hope everything works out for both parties. Listen, motherfucker, none of this wishy-washy bullshit. You wouldn't stand for this if it was you. You wouldn't stand for this if this was part of your clique friends. You wouldn't stand for this if it was some theist doing this to an atheist. You wouldn't stand for this in this, or this. You have no consistency. You're not neutral. You're full of shit. Fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, if my name was Mr. Atheist, there would have been an outcry across the entire internet spectrum.
If Kyle did this to you, that's the thing. That's the dividing point. If Steve did this to Kyle, who spoke out and who didn't speak out? Who would have if the shoe was on the other foot? Those people are dishonest.
Yeah, but I remember the people that spoke out, and the people that didn't. Sure, I'm not going to hold it against them, but you know what? Those aren't the people I really give a shit about, right? I mean, it's just that they have every right to be made neutral and stuff like that. But I'm sorry, my opinion is this: when you see something that is this heinous and you don't take a stance, okay, fine. You know, to me, you just don't really have a great moral framework, and especially when they watched that Kyle and his sycophants like Uni were trying to character assassinate me. The whole rape apology shit, the whole Steve's Medi-Cal thing, or all of this was character assassination from day one.
Sexual harassment.
Legit actual harassment. It's like, for fuck's sake, I got no respect for
now
those
Kyle's
people.
Now Kyle's going to get a restraining order against him. How funny is that?
Penis.
Amazing.
Yeah. Ben said he's going to get a restraining order against Kyle, so that's funny.
The thing that blew my mind is that while we were dealing with all this shit, the people who were being neutral and not speaking out against this had absolutely zero problem nitpicking and or misrepresenting something that Steve did during this amount of time. But yet it's fine to talk about Steve and whatever he's doing and not retract it and fix it if you find out later on that that's not really what was going on, but also to just allow all the other shit because it's not Steve. I can talk against Steve because Steve's not going to come after me. Steve's not going to be a shithead towards me. Steve's not going to be a dick. So I risk nothing. But if I speak for Steve, oh, well, now suddenly I'm going to be a pariah in my own fucking group, or all these trolls might come after me. So therefore I can speak out against Steve, but I can't speak for or in his favor. You're a coward. You're a fucking coward. Your moral framework is shit. Go fuck yourselves.
Dr. Zaya says they still are claiming Steve's going to go to jail for his medical crimes. It's been a year and a half. So, I mean, I know the government's slow. And by the way, here's another thing that I don't understand. How the fuck do you go to jail for medical crimes when I only used my medical once, and that was back 4 years ago, before even non-sequitur? How does this even work? What is there to go to jail for? By the way, that's not even how it works with Medi-Cal. If for some reason you did something under Medi-Cal and it was not, you shouldn't have gotten it, they ask you to pay it back. You don't even go to jail for it. They ask you to pay it back in California. Yeah. But there was nothing. I never used it. I do legit. In fact, I just fucking scheduled an appointment for medical. Guess where I scheduled it at? The VA in Loma Linda.
One other thing I'll say, and I guess following on from what Chesh was saying, the people who, it's not just the ones who are publicly going after anyone who has anything to do with Steve. You've got the ones who are doing things in the background. Like I've had people who have contacted, like people who I do Friday Night Six Pack with, saying, hey, if you do have anything to do with Chris because he's with Steve, we're not doing anything together. Yeah, and there's been a lot of that going on, and I'm pretty fortunate that I've got some pretty good people around me who just went, well, okay, see you later. But there's a lot of that going on, and it's even like when I first started talking to Steve, before I really sort of had too much of an idea what was going on. Some of the messages I was getting, like a gripper, basically said, "Oh, hey, come over with us, and we've got all these people will help grow your channel." All these, and I'm just like, I don't give a shit, really. It's like, it's.
I got a few when I first showed up. It took a couple of weeks. I had a couple of those messages when I first showed up. People on Discord just reaching out to feel me out, and then they got super mad when I said I didn't want to join their stupid.
Was it one of the narratives was that I told everybody that I would make them popular with NonSequitur Show and they would all be co-hosts? Correct me if I'm wrong, Chesire. Are you the only person?
Apparently, I'm going to be a co-host on.
Yeah, yeah. Apparently, I've offered it to everybody.
Everyone else promised that, but not me.
No, actually, it was just you, Chris. Did I not tell you I was going to get rid of Chesire finally and Ruhif, and you and me were just sailing away into the sunset on NonSequitur?
Yeah, but that was our secret chat in our super secret group.
People don't seem to realize that this is the problem when you watch those people all fall apart, is because they are all dishonest to each other, and they project it on every other people.
And they don't know what friendship is because they have no friends. Not only do they not like each other, but also they've never had friends, or they don't have friends, or maybe they've just been hurt too badly when they
that one. Yeah, I mean, do you not remember that I latched on to Reds too for his subs?
I mean, how sad's that? I mean, that's fucking pathetic.
I remember people say the only reason I'm friends with Rez is because of his subs. I'm like, motherfucker, I've known Rez when he had a channel like 3,000 fucking subs or some shit like that. I don't know. I mean, I mean, literally go back and what is it, 2014, 13, 15? I don't know what the fuck it was. But I mean, he didn't have a big channel then. He didn't get bigger till later on.
I've had people say that kind of shit about me. It's like, what? My channel, I don't do you see anything that looks remotely like debunking flat earth on my channel at all?
I don't even do that anymore.
All they care about is how many clicks they've got, how many views they've got, how many people they've got. So they think that that's what everyone else cares about.
Oh, I was told the only reason I want NonSequitur back is for the sub count, and I'm like, yeah, that's the reason. And it's not even a matter of getting NonSequitur channel back anymore. It's to me right now, it's not even a matter. That's not even it. It is. I want to see Kyle pay justice-wise. I want, and I'm sorry, I'm not even to retributive justice. I do support restorative justice. However, that doesn't mean there shouldn't be retribution. There are some cases that are so egregious that I am fine with retributive justice, and this is one of those cases.
Sorry.
You know what? It'll stop the next person.
I don't. If I never got a dime out of him, and he never gives me back NonSequitur and just sits in jail and rots for contempt, I'm okay with this. For the next 4 years of his life, I'm okay with that.
I'm not okay with that. I want the show back.
But did I not tell you that? I mean, I've told Chesire this, and she's like, "Well, no, we want the channel back." I'm like, "Oh no, I'd rather see him in jail. I'm not even fronting." But whatever.
Unveiling the message.
Very strong jail.
Yeah. Go ahead. What?
Unveiling the said Ruhif gets to co-host only if he says perpetuity 10 times a stream.
11. We've raised. Kim, we've raised it to 11 at this point. I've got to have higher standards.
Okay.
And by the way, I even have my email again. I've checked all my email stuff. I was even telling Bull back in like March or something that, hey, I've already checked with Kyle, make sure that's still 50-50. There's still a perpetuity. I was telling Bull this shit.
2019, Steve. 2019.
This was 2019. Yeah, it had to be 2019 because I had asked him. I said, are you sure that these guests haven't asked for anything like percentage wise? Because it's still 50-50, and I didn't want to make sure that they didn't ask me for percentage wise. And he's like, no, but I wanted to give up 5% of my stake to Bull, and I wanted Kyle to give up 5% to Bull, which means he got 10%.
Yeah,
he couldn't get anything out of Kyle on that. So how could I ever do that if it wasn't 50-50? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, for all these people saying, oh, Steve's not going to be able to show 50-50.
That's just
like I've seen way more than enough. Like it's a non-issue, non-starter.
Yeah, Ilya Moon for 5 says, I want to thank Chesh for paving the way for how to enjoy trolling, as I just got Chesh level trolled on our channel. Proud moment for me.
Nice.
The only time there's been any kind of changeover after the fact at once things exploded, was that originally there was talk about Reds co-hosting the Non-Sequitur Show with Steve. And that was a change made with Reds' knowledge and like a conversation between the group of us. And it just turned out that it was, one, the dude does not have time, and two, that it was just going to work out better. He'll still be involved in the background, or he'll be on for things, but he didn't want to. It ended up just not working out that way. So that was the number to me at that point.
Ben says,
and we wouldn't want to subject the world to his face.
Yeah, that's right. Have you ever seen what it actually looks like? It's an understatement. I don't know how I don't even know how he functions, and I feel bad for him. Holy Christ!
I almost vomit just thinking about it.
Yeah, somebody hit him with an ugly stick pretty hard. Benjamin says, I just want him to stop harassing me. At this point, having him locked up seems like my only salvation. And I told Benjamin, look, we've got your back. I did tell him this very clearly. And I don't like, really making promises I can't keep, but I didn't want him to think that because this helped us, we're just going to like abandon him. No, I told him very specifically, if Kyle is harassing you, you let us know, because the community has a right to know. Or I don't know about a right, but they will back you on this, because I believe you very strongly that Kyle is actually harassing you. A true harassment. And he's the one that's saying that I'm a harasser. I've never harassed anybody.
Be safe. That's very important. Make sure you're safe.
Chesh, you know what? Those are the two words I even said to Ben.
Be safe.
Be safe. If I'm not mistaken, Ben could verify that. I actually told him the exact same thing. If I remember correctly, I even said that. Be safe.
Don't pull a Kyle. Don't put your livelihood and your personhood and yourself at risk over a fucking YouTube channel.
Yeah, no, I was very clear with Ben on that. I was like, this is not worth you being in danger. If it's going to harm you in any way, job wise or physical, anything. I wanted to make sure about that. Ben, right now we have 300 people watching, and most of these people probably right now are people that really are empathetic people. These are the community that I grew to love. These are the good people. Now, I'm sure we got some shitty fucking people still watching, the Kyle sycophants that still exist, and that's fine. But I got to tell you, the people in the live chat and everything here, these are good people. Especially the people that are in the chat here. I mean, I would trust them with my life. I mean, simple as that. I would trust them with my life.
Intrigued Feline says it would be interesting if Kyle would get a TRO. And does anybody want to give negative exponents the bad news?
Sure, and that's probably going to happen in Intrigue Feline, from what I understand. But Negative Exponent says, I'm hoping that you learned your lesson and would not make a co-host a partner. It is going to be yours and no reason to do so. If you want to pay anyone, just expense it. Yes or no to that? Me and Chess have actually talked about what's the best way to do it, but we'll determine that. But again, I want to be fair to people. Matter of fact, well, you know what? I don't want to sound. It's going to sound stupid, but I mean, I want to make sure that I'm fair to Chris. And I don't have to go into details, but Chris, I mean, did I not change did we negotiate our thing to make fair to you?
Yeah, straight up. And I don't mind sharing
details, but you can. Well, it's up to you. I don't give a shit.
But, yeah, because it's the dollars aren't really that important to me. It's just it's beer money and it's nice. But it's we had a deal. Steve sent me a message saying, "Hey, I think we should change the deal because there was something to do with the tax. It turned out to be a bit less. I want to make it fairer for you," and sent me more. So I mean, and which was never asked for, but it was certainly appreciated. And
because I was like, I wanted to more balance out. I mean, that's just
So it's I always laugh when I see the whole the narrative that they spin, because it's complete bullshit based on my experience.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. By the way, it wasn't like a huge difference, but it was just enough to make me feel better. I mean, Chris and I don't make a lot of money off that show. Trust me.
And I never would have known, regardless. I mean, I gave
you the spreadsheet.
It's a nice little bonus. I can tell people that I'm a paid political commentator. It makes me feel good.
See, I don't claim I have books. What I claim is I have a spreadsheet that I keep track of what I have for Chris and for what I get for Cheshire. They have access to it. That's they can check it. I mean, that's all.
See, Mike's got it. Just get it over with and give Chesh the whole thing.
Who says she does it now? Right, supposedly, from what I understand, this channel is in her name.
That's right.
I literally have heard that, and I'm like, how the hell does that work? I get my AdSense. Wouldn't that would be like given to her if that was the case?
Unveiling made a good point, Here I Am made a good point to Ben that if Kyle threatens you, you have to report it, document it, record, and report ASAP. If you ever feel unsafe, I will recommend this to anybody, even if it's not even true, or even if it's like maybe all in your head. If you feel unsafe, report it to your local authority, because
did you see his latest message
in the future.
Yeah. Can you read that, Chesh, his last message?
Benjamin said, I have learned that. I'm also sure Kyle never live tweeted about the times I called the cops to remove him from my house.
Do you think those were on record?
Well, there would be a call at the very least.
Yeah.
Because if he had to call the police, there would be a call record of it that would be public.
Because at this point, the more that can get out on him. See, this is what I'm thinking. And I told Ben this. I said, if the more he's exposed that he has been doing this, the less likely he is going to, because his image he's all about his ego. It's all about his image. That's the reason why he started lying from day one, is because he did not want to have to admit that he spent the money.
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting.
That's the way I'm looking at it.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's just something that just so sue me just went way out of control.
Let's be realistic, Steve. If he had have come to you and said, "Look, I'm really sorry. I've spent the money. I've got some issues. I'm really sorry about this."
Dude, I have a screenshot where I told him, "Hey, if you need some money, do this." And then he said, what happened was he lost his job. He said, "I've already used the Patreon. But I have the AdSense that's sitting there, but I can't get into it because of password issues." And I believe him on that. I really do. I have a friend that had the same thing. They had money stuck in AdSense, but they couldn't get fucking to it because of the way it was set up. So the way he described it to me was exactly the same situation.
Yes, we would all agree with that.
Yeah. So I do believe he was telling the truth on that. But he did say that he spent the Patreon money. So I know he spent money, right? And so everything to me makes sense that he just kept spending. He got the AdSense. He kept taking trips. He was telling me he was taking trips. And I think that when it came to when he's like, "Hey, after the first of the year, because it's easier, I'll have distributions," is what he said. I have the email for that too. When it came due, he says, "Oh, now it's April. Now it's April."
Yeah.
Now I got to tell you, and I said this before, one of the reasons why I was really resonant to have a discussion with Kyle the way Reds wanted to, because I knew once we had that discussion, Kyle would probably lose his shit, do something stupid, and it would be the end of the show.
Yep.
Because that is how he is.
Maybe you should have just done it sooner.
Maybe.
The bin for 5 says Mikey hearts Steve.
Oh.
At the bins is there on the show. Check out the bin, by the way. And then Deviance, which is Mikey, is in the chat saying yo yiggity yo.
He is the bin.
Yes.
Yep.
No, he's under both, so I don't know if he's somebody else also, but yes, correct. Hi.
Ben, by the way, Ben, if you have time, I gave you the link to come in Twitter if you want to come and say hi. I know you might do an interview with somebody else, and that's awesome. I think Reds had reached out to him, and I told you can trust Reds with your life. He says Kyle lives in a realm of vagueness and mystery, which always equates to complete bullshit. Well, yeah, I mean he has developed this weird narcissistic fantasy world, and he thinks that everybody else is just duplicitous. And I don't know why. He had everything.
Too.
I don't, and that's what bothers me the most. All he had to do was listen to some fucking common sense, like Rez and I trying to talk to him, Bullinator, and no, he decided to listen to the people that rather stroke his ego than make sense to what we were telling him, and just take some break, take a time off, and let us take the control for a little while. But no, he had to lose his fucking shit and do something stupid.
Oh, you just spent all the money. That's what it comes down to.
He says he needs a code to join.
Yeah. Rick Roton says, how can you get 60,000 and have no car or no home?
I asked Ben the same question. I don't know.
That would have been a wonderful question that any single one of the people who interviewed him could have fucking asked and didn't.
Oh, you mean the ones that actually said they're going to ask a bunch of these hard questions that we went through and actually itemized the questions, and then when they had the interview, didn't ask any of them? That kind of shit?
Yeah, that kind of shit.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think we all know where the money went, right?
I could take a wild.
Everyone knows where the money went.
Yeah, I could take a wild guess.
Yes.
But he says he needs a code. What do you mean? I don't know. Did I not give him the right link? It's just a web link.
Just a link, yeah.
I told him to check his Facebook.
I didn't put it on his Facebook. I put it on Twitter.
Oh, you put it on Twitter, motherfucker.
All right, let me get the code again. Copy link to join.
I assumed that I made an ass out of you and me.
Check again. You just click on the link there. It says I need a code to join. I don't know if that.
Did you give him the wrong thing?
No.
I just had a link, that's all.
Yeah, I just got
Oh, you may be on a phone. I don't know if it's any different, but I don't know where your code. You just click it in a browser.
We'll just copy joining info. The joining info should send it all over.
Yeah.
William Peterson says, I had a cokehead ex-boyfriend too a few years back. Just be smart about your dealings with him and his stupidity will catch up to him one way or another.
Okay.
I think that's today.
You know what? I will give him a different link. I give him the URL header. Try that one.
I have this lovely picture that Kyle posted of himself, and it says, "What day is it?" And he's like waking up, and it's a lovely picture. And I saved it because I can't wait to post it and say, "It's court date, bitch."
Yes, or jail day.
It says, "Join with code, new meeting." I don't know.
The code. So where it's got meet.google.com, then the / what's after that is the code.
Oh, okay. So I will give him the code. Try that as a code.
Because what he's probably done is he's just downloaded Google Meetups, and then it's rather than having the link to go in, it's asking for a code. So
okay, you don't need the authorized user either. So that's okay. The last thing I gave you is the code. I bet you that's the code. Is it 3 letters, 4 letters, 3 letters?
If we keep going for another half an hour, we could probably get Reds in here.
I didn't expect it to go this long, but as long as people are asking questions, look, I wanted everything out. I wanted it all on. By the way, I was hoping that things would be tomorrow, obviously, but since it's postponed to Wednesday, it's not going to be a big deal. Because, like I said, we might do something. I don't have a clue. I don't care one way or another. But what the hell is another fucking 5 days? And we're so confident it's ridiculous, so I don't care about that. If it takes 5 more days and they can actually get some criminal stuff out of this, I'm just as happy.
Mike 71 point. They said that liars think everyone else is lying too.
We pointed that out with narcissists. They do. They live in a world where they have to get by lying, and so they think that everybody else is lying. I'm the biggest liar on YouTube, supposedly. Ask Unirock, right? I've trolled everybody. I'm a liar. But when you ask them, well, what the fuck does Steve lie about? You never get anything. You get this rhetoric type conspiratorial nonsense. But we actually have physical evidence of deception. With Kyle.
Yeah,
it's all over.
This isn't a he said, she said situation. This isn't like, oh, Kyle said this and then Steve said this. No, Steve's lawyer presented written documentation that is not matching. That is not the way it should be.
You know what he said, what she said would be? This is a he said, she said. I left a shitty troll group. They said that they left me. Okay. He said, she said. Whatever. I don't give a fuck. Sure. Let them think they left me. I don't care. You know what? Sure, I'm very happy.
No. Here's the thing. I can demonstrate that they're lying because they don't go away. Yeah, if you're leaving, you leave.
I think the same thing. I don't understand it either. How is it that they left me and they won't fucking just leave? They've been talking about me for 3 fucking years at this point, or whatever the hell it's been.
Faceless Nameless Rando said, Puny running his mouth on Periscope. Puny, they attacked me, but it's okay. I talk about everyone else, expecting people to not respond to his idiocy.
What was it? No, we don't talk about Uni because it's just not worth talking about 99% of the time. But in the last couple of days, it's just like, he has so much fuckery. It's just fine. Point out his fuckery, move the fuck on it. I'm going to forget about him next week again, probably,
Non-serious human being.
Yeah, he's nobody to take seriously. Watch it for entertainment value and laugh. That's it. Whatever.
Icarus says, quote, what is Steve lying about? It's a pattern. The evidence is out there. Google it.
Google it. The evidence, the truth is out there.
Hawkskull says, at least the delay means I don't get uncomfortable saying it will all blow up on 9/11.
Bad joke, but yes. Yeah.
Oh dear.
They were uncomfortable saying it. They weren't kidding.
No. It's true.
It's about being uncomfortable.
Yeah, no.
What's the
Okay.
What's that secret CIA thing that reads everyone's emails and things?
Oh yeah.
Like dirty bomb.
You talking about like the computer system that reads everything?
Yeah. What it's called?
I don't remember. There was supposed to be a computer system that read all the emails and telephone lines, and it was like Unix or something. I don't know, like some
Everest or whatever. Yeah. Someone
Elias
put it in the chat. Put it in the chat, someone.
Yeah, some conspiracy person knows, I'm sure.
Yeah.
we should start a support group between everybody who's being called the biggest liar. We can call it the Steve support cult. So the SSC.
Healthy competition, who can lie better? Yeah, Steve, as Doubleman pointed out, Steve Munz will not respond to Uni because he just don't give a fuck about Uni. The guy is completely a joke. But in the last couple of days, when I was kind of forced to have to listen to some of his periscopes, which is not going to happen again, pretty much, hopefully, I was just like, holy shit, this guy is just bizarre. I mean, it's just, and so, yeah, I want to point out to people that, yeah, everything he says is wrong.
It's
and
bad
prove
when
it.
they have
Literally prove it with, well, not literally, because it's not, but, show evidence. Go ahead, what?
Mike71 says it's bad when they have a flat earther response.
What's the difference between a uni and a flat earther?
Echelon is the
Echelon
thing.
Is that what it is?
Echelon, yeah. Someone said Prism, which is I think is the most
Prism,
recent.
I recognize Prism.
actual
Yes,
one.
Prism. Yeah. I do recognize. Yeah.
Yeah, Echelon's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, I really don't think Unirock is any different than a flat earther. I don't see any bit of difference. It wouldn't really surprise me if he doesn't actually believe the Earth is flat. I mean, it wouldn't even faze me.
Oh, he accuses other people of having flat Earth-like arguments, and like he's making shit up last night about the bank software had an issue, and it's just such a stretch.
Yeah,
joke of a
dude,
human.
it's so funny. Is I probably won't even bother with him again because I don't see any reason to. I mean, eventually maybe things come up, but he'll make 5,000 fucking videos just off this one hangout and lose his shit, and see be so butthurt merely because we literally show what it's like to show when somebody just makes shit up.
Yeah. Oh, I want. You know how Kyle threatened me in that scope he did with Uni the other day. I want him to come out and say what he's got now, because he's not going to get a chance to do it if we refile.
That's true.
BT Toast said, Steve, your channel and others like Red's mainly deal with science. It would be more reasonable to believe evidence that you show rather than claims from a channel that is dedicated to drama.
I agree.
And then we've got another Mikey asked,
Yay!
when are all these people for being a good friend going to apologize?
There I am.
There he is.
Hello. Welcome.
So Benjamin meet Glenn meet Ben. And by the way, for somebody who's offered you a butt ton of money and you never met him before, it's weird.
Oh, here I am.
55 grand apparently. So
it started at 45. I don't know what.
How are you going to spend the money?
Spend it wisely, Ben.
Ben, can you hear us?
Better than Kyle did.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, got you now. Yeah.
Hey there.
So you've never talked to Ruhif before, correct?
I never talked to you?
Ruhif, Glenn.
Hey. Yeah.
No, never.
No.
He's like, who the hell are you?
Nice to meet you.
You too. Thank you very much for your affidavit.
My pleasure.
Very helpful. Yeah.
You look a little bit.
We should get.
Everybody wants
how many people watching?
300.
Almost 300.
Almost
Yeah.
300, yeah.
Very nice.
Ruhif, ask a question. Chesire, I wanted to ask something.
Hey?
Chesire, I wanted to ask something, but you were in the middle of something. There's a little bit of lag because you live halfway around the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you want to go, Ruhif, first, or
Me? Oh, I've got no questions.
Oh, okay. Chesire, then.
Yeah.
I was saying, are you as excited as we are?
I don't know if excitement is the word. More like just like, I don't know, if it's more like relieved just to be able to, honestly, like, I just want him to stop involving me in his life. You know, it's like, this was always his ballpark. This is always his world. Like, even when he was, when we met, he was still doing the YouTube channel. I was like, that's your game. Like, I'm not an internet guru and didn't try to involve myself in that world. And now it's like, I have to just to fucking get people to see, like, you're not who you claim to be. You're not. Like, I mean, I'm the biggest idiot of them all for feeding into all this bullshit. But I'm just literally like, every time like I have contact with him now, it's like, I just feel like I lose brain cells. It's like, I don't. I feel like writing a book at this point. It's like surviving Kyle.
So to make it very, very clear, because people had criticized me because they said, it's pretty low for Steve to get an ex involved. I didn't involve you. I've never spoken to you before Sunday. Did I not?
Not at all. I involved myself because I'm like, whoa, like I was out of sheer boredom. I was house sitting for my parents, and like I just got on Twitter. I never used Twitter. And then Kyle's like new profile, Purtis something, whatever, comes up, and I was like, well, that's interesting. And I click on it, and then like rabbit trails lead to rabbit trails. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, and then I start like just through like looking at shit. I was like, wait, there's this still, let me back up. This is still a thing. Like, he's claiming to live with me, and that's the whole basis of his court case. I'm like, he didn't live with me. I thought that was done whenever I refused to sign that fucking affidavit that he had me try to sign. And I'm like,
I thought of a question, by the way.
All right, let me get the super chat real quick. Christopher 5 says, hold in there, buddy. What do you think of James' debt channel? I don't know what that means.
Don't know.
Well,
question was, when was your first date? When did you first meet in person? And do you have evidence of that date?
No, because I think it was, well, maybe, I don't know. So we met on Tinder, and our first date was in June of 2019. So okay. I think it's June 18th, but don't quote me on that. Yeah. He was more specific to dates than I was, like numbers, like I'm very dyslexic with numbers, but it was definitely June of 2019. We met on Tinder. I don't know if we set up the date through Tinder or through messages, but I have to go way back through all my messages, so I could probably find that. But
okay. Oh no, it explains that slight change to the affidavit.
I have a question, and maybe a suggestion. I think that there is some value in writing a book surviving Kyle, because you were in a relationship.
Can I co-write it with him? Or at least have a chapter?
You can go at it.
Yeah, dude, I'm down with it. Let's do it.
There's actually a lot of value.
I'm not even fucking with him. I'm serious. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chess.
So am I. You think I'm? Why would I?
Go for it.
Oh my God. There's actually a lot of value to this conversation, just because it doesn't have to have been Kyle. You were in a relationship with somebody who basically mistreated you, gaslit you, lied to you, was like a complete fucking narcissist, and then dragged you into a legal case where they are losing over $60,000 plus because they lied and forged your signature. That's a book.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, for me, it was never like, I was honestly, like, anybody who knows me knows that, like, I think Kyle, in his like moments of realness, whether that even exists or not, would like admit that, like, I'm the most genuine person ever. Like, I don't go into things watching my back, or like with like the whole trust issue. It's like, my trust is given 100% off the bat. Let's know this bullshit. Like, you have to earn it. I don't, that's not me. Like, my thing is, like, I trust you. If you ever give me a reason not to trust you, then that's whenever I'm like, back the fuck up. Like, now we have a problem here. And with Kyle, like, it took me a fucking almost a year, or actually, no, it didn't. It took me a year to finally admit to myself that, like, I have to be strong enough to say, this is bullshit, because everything that you do has an ulterior motive to it. Like, there's nothing, like, going back, it's like nothing ever was done out of a genuine sense of like him trying to be real with me. There was, I mean, come to find out, he's trying to use me for a fucking court case that I didn't want anything to do with. And right. like now I'm looking back, and I was like, all these conversations, you had an ulterior motive in them. I'm thinking it's just like a genuine, like, you know, conversation between two people who are supposed to be in a relationship. And now come to find out, my name is plastered to a fucking forged document.
He was legit surprised. Yeah, I know. You were legit surprised when I showed it to you. I mean, it was like, whoa, wait a minute.
I was like, wait, what? I mean, I knew that was his stake for his rebuttal or his defense against the court case, but I had no idea that, like, he would take it so far as to, like, forge my signature. I thought it was just like a verbal claim, and I was like, it's not true, but still, it's your fight.
No, he did the same thing to me. I get that understanding why you want to think, you know, oh, I'm the idiot here, but you can't think that way, because I'm like you, exactly the same way as I give trust very easily. Okay, and
true.
Yeah, and it sucks. It really does. But I don't want to not be that person who doesn't. But he violated that trust. And,
right. Well, and that's the thing. He's like, in my book, he is the, and this goes back to, you know, what she said, is that, you know, aside from like the court case and everything, like, I have a story of like dealing with the ultimate narcissist. Like, I've never met anybody in my entire life who is that manipulative. And very early on, like, I mean, really, honestly, out of the gate, there were things that just didn't line up. And every time I tried to make sense of them or even questioned him, it was him manipulating it to make me feel like I was the one who had the problem. Like I was the one who had trust issues. I was like, no, I offered that off the gate, but now things aren't lining up.
I have emails like that from him.
He gaslighted you.
Looking back, I look at some of the conversations I had with him, and Kyle did the exact same thing to me. When I was thinking that I was losing my fucking mind, that hey, where's this money that I'm trusting? And I even told him I trust you 100%. I have all this on record. It's all going to come out after the hearing, but I trusted him, and yet he always made it sound like I was somehow doing something wrong.
You're the bad guy.
I told you I'd get you this. And
blah blah blah.
Yeah, exactly.
I do have another question. Like, so it's been a year, and you guys haven't been together, and you've kind of been able to get yourself out of that relationship and out of that situation. How have you been coping? Like, are you okay?
I am okay. I'm actually stronger than ever. So to answer that question, but ironically, very ironic, but I officially ended it on the date because I didn't remember, but apparently it was the date of our anniversary of our first date, and I'm not going to go too personal into that, but it was like a date that he was really all about, like, hey, we have to celebrate the anniversary. He's going to recreate it, going to the same spot that we met. And then he literally did the worst thing ever possible. I'm not going to talk about it here because it's very just
no need to.
Whatever. But and I literally lost my shit. And I was like, oh my God, he lied to me. He just all these different things. And I'm like, get the fuck out of my house. I'm done. I'd already literally had this conversation about I literally sit around bracing myself for the next blow that you're going to come at me and you're going to destroy everything that we built. We had this in my mind, a very genuine moment about how he knows and he's changed. And I was like, people don't change, first of all. Not like that. Let's just say that. And I got to this false sense of okay, well, maybe this is going somewhere. And on the date of our anniversary, I was like, fuck this. This is bullshit. Kicked him out of my house. But ever since then, it has been nonstop harassment. It's 1 minute, it's I want you back. I can't do life without you. Trying to send me money. And I'm like, I literally want you to be gone. I don't want.
And you're the spurned lover that they're trying to make. They're like, oh, Ben's. The narrative now is Ben is so in love with Kyle, and he's so hurt that he's been rejected by Kyle.
Oh my God!
And I'm like, no, that's just wrong.
And
there's a question in the chat about Kyle for you, but how needy do you have to be to the only way for you to get somebody's attention is by sending them money?
I mean,
what the fuck?
I mean, not to go too personal, and I hate to even say this on the air, but he even went the route of because I told him on multiple occasions, Kyle, you need therapy, you need counseling, you need help. You're unstable because 1 minute you love me, I'm the best thing that's ever in your life, and then the next minute you're hurling the most inhumane insults at me that nobody in life should ever be able to recover from. But somehow you did. Okay, whatever. I was like, you're unstable. And after I broke it off, he was talking about going to therapy, and he would always use that as a ploy to try and get me back. And I remember having this text conversation with him. I was like, Kyle, the point of having therapy is not that you get it. It's hopefully that it works. And I hope it works for you. But at this point, I am out of the equation. It's not for me. It's for you. But then I even went so far as to say, if you are seeing a therapist, I don't know at this point whether that's even real or not. If you are seeing a therapist, I'm pretty sure that one of the things that they would tell you is, why are you fighting so hard for somebody who doesn't want you in return? I don't understand. Why are you trying to get something back that is clearly gone? Somebody who does not want to have anything to do with you.
Yeah. So let me tell you
we
this.
got two questions from the chat.
Right,
so go ahead, and then I'll jump in.
I'll send them to you later, Ben. But you may want to watch a couple of videos that we did on narcissism, and you may. I hope we try to help people try to understand about what people are. And so if you get it, you might want to watch them, and you'll be like, "Holy shit, this is," and how to deal with it.
I read an article the other day that word for word, I was like, "That was me."
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I did a lot of reading about it because of the situation I had with Kyle, and I learned a lot about narcissism that I didn't know before. Because he's trying to claim I'm a narcissist. I'm like, okay, but sure, let's go with that. Let's say I'm the biggest narcissist in the world, but as somebody pointed out, doesn't make him not one, right? I mean,
that was me. I said that.
Yeah. I mean, so you should watch our videos, and you'll be like, holy shit, this is him. But let me ask you this: Have you been on air before?
Have I been what?
On air before?
No, he had me like come up and say hi at one point on one of his shows.
But this is the
like,
first actual hangout you've ever done.
Yeah.
So I popped your cherry.
I actually did.
Yes, I popped another cherry. Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
I did join some Discord.
Don't worry, you're one of many, okay? But by many cherry conquest. But
nothing like.
All right, Chris has got to go. Thank you, Chris.
Have fun.
Yep.
Hi, Chris.
It's been a blast. Good to meet you, Ruth and Ben.
Hey,
have
nice
fun.
to meet you.
You too.
So there's two things from chat. First one is everybody in the chat thinks you're adorable and cute and likes you.
I'll even go to say you're pretty cute, Ben.
I straight up.
So out of like about 300 people watching, everybody thinks you're adorable.
Aw.
And the other question is, was Kyle at least a good cook?
He was that. That's
all right. So
that's one of the few things in his existence that I know of that he actually was true about.
Yeah, no, I believe very strongly. I will, as much as I detest Kyle and the shitty things he's done, I'm sure he is a very, very excellent chef.
Well, this is the only thing. Like, I mean,
I won't dog him on his food.
I think I've said this to you, Steve, and like, this is really just genuinely how I feel. And the only way that I can kind of like put in context like the whole situation is at a distance, Kyle is a larger than life person. He got in a lot of ways, he got into my head and my heart by making me feel like I'm a stronger person than I think I am. I've always struggled with insecurities. He would always have a way of like promoting me and making me seem like he was in my corner. And he's also, I mean, there's no doubt about it, like he has an amazing stage presence. He's great from a distance, but whenever you get up close and personal, that's whenever things start like not adding up, and then it just becomes this very toxic situation. And literally, it's not just me, it's the people in my life that I introduced him to. Thank God I never involved him with my family, because on the opposite side, he got me involved with his family, and I love them. They're amazing, genuine people, and he would use them as like pawns for his own
That's
purpose.
what we were saying about his mom
There you
earlier.
go. Thank you very much, because that's
like,
exactly what I said would probably happen with his mom, to give him the benefit of the doubt.
I'm like, that's
Yeah.
the worst type of humanity right there. I was like, you not only screwed me over, but you're screwing the people that you are supposed to care about the most.
Literally throwing his mom under the bus.
Yep. Super chat, and then we got Joey.
Super chat from Min.
And then Trevor Lon as well.
Okay.
Super chat from Min that says, Ben's words resonate with me. I trusted Kyle until I had to realize that I could no longer do that. To Ben, I'm really sorry for wishing you and Kyle happiness. You are too decent for such a man.
He is such a sweetheart. Let me
Lon.
just say, like, he is such a sweetheart, and I do not fault him for that at all. So please.
Min is one of the great. Min has. I swear to you, I've talked to Min, just on Hangouts off air. I got to tell you, that is one genuine person. Just one of the nicest, kindest people.
Honestly, I would say, like, he needs to take that apology away from me and just put it on himself, because in a way, Kyle touched his life. And like, I'm like, that's the worst thing ever, to have somebody who touched your life turn out to be an absolute monster. Like, I feel the same that he should be feeling. So he shouldn't be sorry for me. We should both be in the same boat.
Brothers in arms.
There you go. Hey, look,
Yes.
I feel sorry for him too, because I know he was really hurt. He used to tell me, "Hey, Steve, I have a Patreon to you. I'm Patreon to Kyle. He's going through some stuff." I'm like, "Look, you do you. I'm not going to tell you who you associate with. You learn your things on your own." And he just finally says, "Hey, Steve, I can't."
No, Steve. You block anyone that disagrees with you. Anyway,
it's still on my Facebook page. I just talked to him this morning. Right?
Back to what I was saying. If anybody from a distance comes to realization that Kyle is not who he said he was, kudos to you, because I was up close and personal and still gave him the benefit of the doubt. And so, like, this is not a shame on anybody but him.
Yeah.
Honestly.
No, I agree.
It's a little bit of what I said last night. Kyle presents well. He's personable and he presents well. So the best con men are the ones that you believe the most, and that's the way it works.
And that's a good takeaway. I mean, we'll keep it going as long as we want, but I think the good takeaway from this is that it's funny, because when Kyle first got involved with the community, he was doing something on like tele-evangelism and atheism and other stuff, and he was like wanted to understand how con men worked, right? Peter Popoff and Benny Hinn and other people, and he ended up being what he actually hates. I mean, I mean, I know Ben doesn't know the channel very well, but we're an open channel here. I mean, I'm an agnostic. I have Christians on. I have Islam. I have atheists. To me, it makes no difference as long as you're somebody who wants to have a conversation. You're a good person. But he could, he has turned into that one person who keeps asking for forgiveness from a community just to fleece them.
Right.
He's not asking for forgiveness. He's just yelling at people and telling everybody they suck. Negative.
Right, Trevor.
Oh, sorry. Do you want to go first? Go ahead.
Yeah, Trevor Lund says, Rubif, can you translate? Please tell Benjamin he's Bonza. Translation, we would both turn for you, Ben.
Oh, God.
Negative exponents.
Enough alcohol? Why not? I don't know.
Negative exponents.
I'm not into that. Like,
Wait. So because this is true. There are guys that go out there that try to turn straight guys, right? It's kind of a turn on to them.
Yeah, I'm not one of those people. Like, I've had conversations with people recently. Like, no, that's not like a measure of my cat.
That you don't have to try.
I was gonna say, at least try. I mean, shit. Go ahead.
Like,
Negative exponents says the only possible explanation I could understand is his addiction taking over, referring to Kyle. When you are in that state, you will do things the sober you would never dream of. It's not an excuse, it's just a possibility. I think what we're probably getting a little bit more from Ben is that, no, Kyle's just a shithead who also does drugs or did drugs. We don't know if he still.
One person did ask.
I'll reserve my opinions on that.
So somebody asked, are the Twitter comments in February from Ben? Yes, they are. But Ben, I did not get your Twitter comments. Now, did I?
No, and actually on that note, I did. In fact, that's one of, I guess, the rebuttals from Kyle's side is that I did send out a tweet back, I guess, like in February or March or somewhere around there. And it was one of those times that Kyle had really just shown me who his true colors were. And it was right around the time that he was building that case about him living with me. And I mean, call it like I'm just fucking pissed at you and hate your guts right now, or a jealous lover or whatever. I did go on Twitter and tweet that he was squatting at my house or whatever I said. But the reason it was taken down is because Kyle was threatening me, and then also at the same time, like, getting me in that psychopathic way to make it feel like that was not an act of love on my part. And so he's the one who got me to take that down. It wasn't an attempt to like hide anything from anyone else. It was more just like him, well, I mean, I guess like just taking it down just so he wouldn't like come at me.
But that actually shows how bad his personality is, because you're someone who he's telling you that he loves and everything, but then he's going to put you in jeopardy legally by asking you to do an illegal act to benefit him for no reason. You know what I'm trying to say? He shouldn't have involved you. Like, he either should have just gone on his merits case if he believes it wasn't served properly. But he's such a sociopath that he did it to his mother too. You know, like, he's not going. It doesn't care if it hurts the people he supposedly cares about, so long as he gains, he winds up gaining in some way.
Yeah. And the big takeaway is, though, that when he sent me those tweets, I did not know about them until this week, and Rudolph and I couldn't even find them back in the Wayback Machine. It was Unirock that found them, and I never responded to Ben on it. There's no possible way that I communicated with him. I showed the message the first time I ever contacted you was Sunday, and I verified it was you. By asking
I think it honestly was because of the time difference, because I posted them between California.
I found out it was private during that time, from what people told me. That's why.
You might have been. Yeah. You might have been.
Yeah,
from what I understand. But the whole narrative of his lawyer saying that, we've been sitting on this information. Absolute bullshit. So
why?
Yeah, why?
Yeah, but are you actually, since there's no discovery, there's no trial, are you even have any obligation to actually, as soon as you found out something under his theory, even if you had found out about it in February, since you weren't in the trial stage?
There's no obligation, but I mean, she probably would have a decent argument. Why did we wait till the very last minute? I mean, sure, you could bring that up, but her implication of that by saying that we had this information before, we can actually show it's not true, and shove it back on them. So yeah. Because kind of Unirock had been running that narrative for a long while. I mean, not long while. Whatever, the first this came up like 4 days ago. That's one of the first things Unirock started running that narrative. Oh, that they've been sitting on this, and then that we had super secret information. Let me tell people the truth here. When we talk about super secret meetings, we're playing video games.
We're joking. Yeah.
I mean, that's all it is. I mean,
we're friends who hang out together.
And we have friends that hang out. I mean, that's.
I just wanted to give props to this is why Ruhif is a successful guy. I mean, the guy is smart. I watched him with, I call him a slip up, with a slip up and Nate, and he is not a lawyer.
The Nick Suda conversation.
The Nate, the Brody, and
oh no, but in that conversation, I slipped up a little bit when I said Nick Suda, asked you about the case or something. Yeah.
No, but you're not a trained lawyer, and you just I thought you made much more, positive arguments and much more a much better case for your, because your position is the correct one than either one of those two, and there were the two of them. A slip up. All he was saying is oh well, he was pro se, so shouldn't we give him a break? I didn't.
Gripper didn't have any arguments. He just said, oh, he's going to get some leniency because he's pro se. And I'm like, yeah.
Hey guys, but, I hate to, but I'm gonna have to jump off. I've got to go meet some friends.
Yeah, no, do your thing, man. Thank you very much, man.
Nice to meet everyone.
All right. Cheers. All right, thanks, bud.
Thank you.
Come back soon.
Dottie says Uni's on Scope freaking out about Ben being in your live. Well, Uni Rock can freak out all he wants. Like I said,
hi Uni.
Go watch. Look, go watch Uni Rock. And you know what? Add your enjoyment to watch Uni Rock and laugh and whatever. Like I said, the only thing I will say is if you are somebody who watches Uni Rock thinking he's telling you the truth, you are dumber than any flat earther I've ever met. Straight up dumb. I don't even know how else to put it. But if you're watching him for entertainment,
the whole thing is a LARP.
I get it. Yeah, his whole thing's a LARP.
Yeah.
Anyways, Joey, how you been? Real quick, we're gonna be wrapping this up, but nice.
Are we gonna wait 2 minutes for Reds to get in here?
Sure. Is he off work?
And then finish immediately. So yeah.
I just
he pops
heard
in
that,
ending the stream. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I heard that Uni is now because I just heard about the extension. I can't remember what you call it again. That it's going till Wednesday now.
Yeah.
That
which is good.
It's another victory, for him.
Of course, yeah.
I don't.
But here's the thing, and OPT was even saying the only reason. I mean, if you're going to get an extension, you're going to get an extension like a few weeks, a month. No, this was 5 days, and
3 business days actually. You know what I mean?
Because you don't plan. And they want to verify some of this stuff too, which is be perfectly fine with it. See that they can translate it. You don't need an expert for that. Right? I mean, so yeah, this is not a big freaking deal at all. I mean, I don't know how anybody could spin it. And if anybody thinks that Kala has any chance of winning this motion to set aside, you're insane. But even if he did, who the fuck cares? All you do, go back, he answers the complaint, we wins on the merits of the case, which we have the evidence for anyways, and probably get a what's called a summary judgment. But that's even my lawyer was like, oh, you ain't gonna work. That's there's so many it's not going to happen.
This might actually be time for his lawyer to consider whether she wants to recuse herself.
She can't right now, I don't think, until at least the hearing. OPT said she could during the hearing.
At the hearing, she can ask for it.
She could. Now, I don't know if that she would. I think that she probably wants to see it out because of the contempt hearing, because I think that's what she was probably hired for, if I had to guess. That was the original retainer, probably a flat rate retainer. I don't think she's getting paid by the hour. I think she has a.
That's what we kind of thought, because
I could be wrong. Another thing
that was another thing that Jason was talking about, was that all your motions was trying to eat up his billable hours. I am also going to believe that she got $5,000 to do one job.
Yeah, it's called a fixed rate retainer. It's called a fixed flat retainer. Yeah.
Which means that if he was successful, I'm sorry, she would his bill for the trial is, you're talking like 25 G's, you know what I mean? It's not like $5,000 anymore.
Oh, he would have to start another fund.
Here you go. Oh, end the stream. Yeah. End the stream. Bye-bye, everyone.
Hey, thanks very much. Good night, everybody.
Bye, Reds.
Have you been following Reds?
Barely, because a certain someone decided to schedule when I was working. By the way, did Cheshire ever call you an asshole?
Yes, she did, on your behalf.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Cheshire.
I blocked her. That's a robot here. That's Cheshire 2.0.
I see. Did Cheshire 2.0 tell you to go fuck yourself? Because Also part
Oh,
of the deal.
BT Toast says, "See how much I love you. I'm missing DP for you. Thank you." I got. You know what? I actually hung out with Billy last night on his channel. Him hung out on Discord.
Oh hell yeah! We're gonna probably have to go over there and talk about this shit.
He was very interested in this. Well, as much as Billy. Billy's a narcissist too, but he's a narcissist like.
All right. So what shit have I dealt with? Or
Esquire doesn't know what he's talking about, and that Uni Esquire thinks that this getting pushed back because he's too stupid to understand that the reason this is getting pushed back is for the court to do research. And because he's not talking to anybody who matters, like, maybe the judge that he totally claimed he was definitely talking to. Esquire thinks that this is a win for him and his quote unquote side because he's totally not backing Kyle anymore and he's totally 50-50 and was neutral the whole time. But, this is a win because, he's neutral.
That reminds me. That reminds me, Chess, since we want to get it all on one thing here. Oh my God. Unirock, the dumb fuck that he is on this. He actually was saying that the motions we were doing, that Ruhif and I were doing this on our own accord and just using the lawyer's name. Ruhif, have I written any of those things that have been submitted?
No.
No, I didn't write any of them. That's what a dumbass he is. What happens is the lawyer, who is an expert, writes it. We check it for validity. Right?
Well, put it this way. What real lawyer is going to let a pro se person write up their motions, then put their name on the bottom
and the affidavits
of it?
too.
These are the people who thought that fake account of Steve on the divorce court forum.
Yeah,
I thought it was actually Steve. They don't fucking know.
Yeah, a lawyer will write the affidavits for you. You just check them for and this is like what happened with Ben. Ben had a little thing he wanted changed.
Mikey says, "I told you so, Steve." I don't know what that's about, but told you so.
Probably, yeah.
So I guess that's what I've missed this entire time.
What'd you expect?
Unirock being a dumbass.
Benjamin was here.
Yeah, Ben was here.
Benjamin.
Yeah. I mean, I know you're probably going to interview him on your channel, stuff like that, but we had a couple things to talk about. But he's a nice guy, man. Holy shit, he's nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Way out of Kyle's league. Way the fuck out of Kyle's league.
Steve, what?
Unirock went from admitting it last night, because he was like, "Nah, Kyle did it," to now it's like, "Oh no, this is, it was the computer." Why would a computer have a problem generating that barcode? It would do it in like milliseconds. As soon as you put in a new address, it generates it. Well, it's not like, oh well, let's encode it for a couple hours. Like, no, it doesn't work like that.
That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
You've got us like wide on your screen for some reason.
What?
Hang on.
The us going out on the screen, like the outgoing, where you've stretched us widthwise.
It's all right.
How? No, it's not okay. I'm gonna look fat.
All right, I changed it a little bit. OPT says, yeah, just FYI, if a lawyer lets you write a motion and put his name on it, that lawyer wouldn't be one much longer. Yeah, of course. No, I mean, here's a guy, like I said, Unirock says, look, I know shit all about the law, and I've been transparent about that, and yet everything he talks about is, the law, and he didn't know fuck all about it. Ruhif and I actually read these cases that have been talked about. We've read them. We've discussed them with legal people with law degrees. I mean... Unirock doesn't know any lawyers. He doesn't know any experts. No experts wants to be around him. People that know shit, most of them just don't want anything to do with him. He has a few people that have advanced degrees, but for the most part, yeah. I mean,
you guys ready for him to have another 5-hour live stream?
Oh, it'll be more. It'll be more.
based on literally 5 seconds of my time. Are you guys ready?
Sure.
He's been on.
Get ready for a 5-hour Unirock live stream based on something I say in 5 fucking seconds. Unirock, correct? Congratulations on being nominated for Dumb Fuck of the Year.
Oh,
you got a nomination.
There you go.
Yeah.
You think you're only
He's up there as well.
But yeah, that's not very fair because he's vying for it. He wants it. I mean, he's proud of it.
He's up there.
I think I literally just made a week's worth of Unirock streams with just that one statement. Have fun with that, Uni.
Yeah,
Uni.
Uni. Here's the thing. Go play with Reds. I ignore you. You can have a 50 million fucking streams about me, and it's not affecting my life. If anything, it's making you look like an idiot, but that's fine.
For you to have a stream about Katie Joy, though.
You can do that too. Whatever knocks him out, man. I don't care. I don't watch his shit except for the last week, and then I swear to God, it was killing me. It was fucking killing me. You haven't listened to this nonsense.
You're telling Uni to self-harm and knock himself out.
I'm sitting
Speaking of secret evidence.
Hang on, I'm sitting outside the coffee shop with my fucking tablet. I call up Chesh and says, "Chesh, you got to fucking listen to this shit because I can't do this. This is fucking retarded." It is, and I hate using that word. People are gonna be like, "Oh, it's with the R word." But there's certain times where there's certain things, and by the way, I don't have a problem with that word, but it is the most ridiculous fucking stuff I've ever had to listen to in my life, and I'm losing my shit on with Chesire, not because of what Unirock was saying, but how dumb it was. Absolutely dumb.
It was really funny.
Hang on, Uni is saying you contacted Kyle's boss to get him fired. He just said that. I have contacted 800 Democrat. Yes, I have. To see if they'd be willing to respond to a subpoena.
Well, where did Uni? Jason, I mean, what's his name? Kyle has a job. He actually has a job.
I don't know. I only found out about any of this in today. That, and I still don't have the details.
It would be.
He does web services for super PAC.
Steve's going to get a judgment. So if he was working, he wants Kyle to keep working. Oh, that's right. You can't garnish his wages, but whatever savings he would have, you would be able to access his account.
Do I know anything about this? All I know is that you said he did some work for that 1-800.
Yeah,
that's all I know.
He did some website work for a super PAC, Democratic super PAC called 800 Democrat. He's done about $11,000 worth since August last year.
Okay.
And I basically said, will you guys be willing to respond to a subpoena and give us some evidence on,
I
don't know what that would entail.
I want to highlight something. Hang on, I want to highlight something in the live chat because people are asking this, and Steve McRae was asking this as well. Can Unirock and Kyle run together? No, they can't.
We'll have that discussion another time.
No, we're not having that discussion.
We're having that discussion.
All right.
Listen.
One person per slot, 10 people.
We're having that discussion.
We don't do tag teams here. That's not how this shit works.
You don't know what I'm willing to offer you yet.
No.
I'm listening.
Just saying. Don't.
I'll
keep your options open here, okay?
I will volunteer that this has nothing to do with me. I have a complete dark horse that I'm going to be throwing into the race, and we're not going to. Don't throw it out. Don't throw it out.
I'm not going to say
it's a dark horse for a reason. And an intrigued feline said, "I've done my own research, reading the cases independently of Ruhif Steve, and I came to much of a similar conclusion."
That's true. She read the cases as well. So I mean, but. Yeah, but anyways, yeah. So I mean, I don't know what the hell the whole thing with Kyle and that Democratic stuff. I didn't get involved with it because I didn't know what the hell Roof was talking about. To be honest with you, but whatever.
No,
yeah, no, I didn't. It was just like this was like what, an hour ago or something, 2 hours ago. I was like, I don't know what the hell.
Oh, this morning, 4 or 5 hours ago.
Is it that long? Oh yeah, I guess. Yeah, okay, before the hangout. Yeah,
we've been live for a while.
I had no idea.
Oh shit, right? Damn.
I didn't know how small this super PAC was. But yeah, he's done website work, and it sounds like
$11,000. I didn't realize how small this was. Rich people problems.
Yeah, right. I know. Oh my God. By the way, I get on Ruhif. I get on him every so often for that kind of shit. I was like, to keep him in check, because it's peon kind of stuff. But read what Icarus said.
Nick writes, quote, "Well, I assume even if a judge throws the book at Kyle, the copyright is still going to be an issue," end quote. Have you been talking to the lawyer about that issue?
It is not an issue at all.
No.
I don't know.
Who the fuck said that shit? Hang on. Who the fuck said that shit? Who the fuck said that shit?
Guess who said that shit?
Please tell me. Please tell me.
Nick.
Okay,
Mr.
so the
Scooter?
second entry for dumb fuck of the year.
No, I don't know where any of this narrative came from with this copyright bullshit. We're trying to get Kyle on 4 counts of perjury because he said he owned the copyright. Hello.
Oh, the copyright's probably The copyright is coming from, he did the graphics, so he owns the visual style of NonSequitur Show.
Yeah,
but can I also point out, hey guys, what up? It's me, your boy.
He took some of your
really
stuff.
think the art is going to be the problem for fucking running NonSequitur again?
Well, yeah, but did he?
Are you fucking high?
He took some of your art and claimed it as his in a copyright.
Yeah, go figure.
Yeah.
he put my fucking logo on a goddamn t-shirt, and I didn't see a penny from that shit.
He's still selling Steve's face.
When Kyle said, "Well, Steve, can you do the music and you do the artwork?" I'm like, I got a chesh.
Wow. Okay, that is some dumb shit right there. That is some dumb shit.
This copyright
right
issue is
there.
a non-factor. Anybody who thinks otherwise is just. I mean, you know what? I don't get it.
Moron?
Nick started off being to analyze things really well, but as soon as Nick started hanging out with all those fucking dumbasses, his brain went to shit. It's like 180 degrees went to shit. He stopped thinking rationally and critically across the board. Just gave it up. And I'm like, okay, you do you, boo.
There's something that happens when people who are initially honest, because I had this problem with an account that I just got frustrated and had to block for a little while. They're not blocked anymore, but I had to block them for a little while because they kept coming to us with the same fucking questions over and over again. Because they're trying to listen to both sides. But the thing is like, you're listening to these people, but you're not questioning them about what they're saying and asking them to prove what they're saying. You're coming to us and asking us to prove that what they're saying isn't true. You've got it fucking backwards.
Seriously, I had
How long did you put up with that shit?
I held out hope for Nick, honestly. I really did. And I mean, wow. You don't really know a guy.
It started when he had
That's
Kyle
why I don't talk
on,
about Nick either.
right?
Nick was a friend, and to see how far he just changed. I don't want to have anything to do with him. I'm not going to talk about him that much, but it hurts. It bothers me because I really did care about Nick, and to find him just shitting on the people that actually gave a shit about him and going to people that don't give a flying fuck about him at all.
Yeah.
Okay, you do you, man. But I got to tell you, bad mistake. It just that was a dumb thing.
Bad juju coming back, basically.
Yeah, nobody said shit about Nick until he started publicly making himself a problem by being an asshole to literally everybody all over the goddamn place. And the thing is a lot of the time we didn't even answer. Other people started answering and questioning what the flying fuck was going on, and he was a dick to them. So it's not like he was an asshole to us, so we were like, well, fuck this guy. No, he was a dick to a bunch of people, and everybody was like, fuck this guy.
The breaking point was he was a dick to people I cared about, and I mean did some shady shit to them. And I look, I mean, my friends I care about, and people know they don't get to me by coming after me. They get to me by going after my friends. My friends know that. They're aware of it, and I appreciate the fact they're still my friends because of it, because I have some people that didn't want to be because they were being harassed. But yeah, he did some stuff that I just didn't think was cool. And he lied to people. I can't have that around. Straight up.
Yeah.
Well, too much exposure to Jason, probably.
I mean, they're like, well, what do you lie about? It doesn't matter. And you don't want to believe me? I don't give a fuck.
I gotta tell you, for some people, the dumb fuckery is contagious. So once you get involved with that group, they will infect your mind and make you believe some absolutely horrible horse shit.
Yeah.
If you're going to deal with those people on any kind of regular basis, you need to have some kind of strong willpower and good understanding. If you do not have that strength of character about who you are just personally, not about how you feel about other people, but that you are not going to get gaslit, that you're not going to get manipulated. If you're an emotional person, you are... That is an in for those people. If you are easily, if you get emotional easily, not that that's a bad thing, but if you are, that is a chink in armor for those people to get into whatever it is and start getting into like poisoning the well and poisoning their thought process and how you actually come to conclusions and how you can and there's only so much we can do when you're coming to us to take the poison out of whatever it is that they've managed to throw into your mind, that whatever it is that they've managed to convince you of, that then we have to go undo the damage and pull the poison out of whatever it is that you're trying to understand. Like, it's not on us. If this person is giving you shit information, and every single time they give you shit information, it's not on us to correct their shit information. It's on you to have a proper understanding of critical thinking and how to address these sorts of things. And if you're going to address those sorts of things and you're going to deal with those people, have the strength of character to question them on what it is that they're fucking saying.
I think it's just he's just chasing subs. He's more interested in subs than personal integrity.
Well, no, you were talking about Nick? Because there's business Nick and then there was friend Nick, according to Nick. And business Nick was shady as shit. Friend Nick, well, if it's...
He also wasn't very good at business.
But it was ridiculous. I was like, this doesn't work out like this. I'm sorry.
Why is, can I ask, why is a slip-up actually considered like some kind of businessman? Anybody who says that you bill your company, you get to... Like there are successful channels that have many viewers that are not billing $160 every time for every show for artwork. I mean, they have one intro that goes there.
Nobody bills
and
like
they're
that.
Extremely successful. So he billed the company so much
it's absurd.
that it produced a $20,000 loss.
Yeah, it's fraud. It's fraudulent. It's fraudulent stuff to the court. I mean, we knew that. And by the way, there's this weird narrative that I was making like $3,000 an episode on ATA. I don't make anything for ATA. I mean, maybe when it gets.
I had to listen to that 3 times before I was able. No. I listened to it once and I was like, "This is what they're saying," and you didn't believe me.
I didn't believe you.
Went back and you were like, "No."
I didn't say you were wrong. I was just like, they can't be saying that.
You're like, still.
No, but Agrippa was like, he was like, "Oh, this is a normal business expense. Businesses lose money for the first 3 years. Yeah, when you're like running like a restaurant or places that have fixed costs of rent, employees, all these fixed costs that they actually have to make a certain amount before they actually break even and then make a profit. The YouTube doesn't work that way. You have almost no expenses for a YouTube channel.
Yeah, whatever expenses that you have for a YouTube channel is the amount that you've decided to put in. The only real expense is whatever your internet is, and like if you need a VPN, like stuff like that. Those are the only real ongoing expenses. And now if you need to buy a computer that's actually good enough for whatever it is that you're trying to do, or like lighting and your sound, you don't technically need those things for a channel. But if you want to do well and improve, those are one-off expenses that you may have to invest in.
Yeah, but it was really funny because I made Chess play it like 3 times. I was like, there's no fucking way that they're saying that I make $3,000 an episode from Agree to Argue. And I'm like, first of all, when it gets some money coming in, maybe if it ever does, then yeah, they're gonna pay me something which is gonna be nominal. I mean, I'll be lucky if I get enough coffee, but I mean, it's just absurd for them to even bullshit people saying, well, Steve's getting paid $3,000. No, I have not made a dime. There's no money coming to me right now from ATA. Not a penny.
Oh, you mean another live from Jason?
They'll pay for my hotel room and they'll pay for lunch.
Doesn't know what he's talking about.
And I'll get $10 from the last time. This is what they did. I got $10 from the train. I had lunch and I had a hotel. That was it. I didn't make a penny. Just reimbursements and stuff like that. That's it. I
don't pay to buy smug.
Let me also state something, because unfortunately I had a bit of morbid curiosity for a few minutes a night ago, and I listened to some horse shit, and I just wanted to kind of respond to it directly. So if I can just have my little moment.
Yes.
Go for it. I'll be back in a second.
Unirock gave you, Steve, an offer saying, Steve, all this could be put aside, can be swept under the rug. We can forget all this shit ever happened if all you would do is apologize.
Oh, okay. Here's the thing. Hey, I'll do that. Hey, Unirock, I apologize for ever getting involved with you, you sick, lying motherfucker. Okay? I apologize for introducing my community to somebody who could be so duplicitous, so dishonest, and so incredibly inept. I apologize to my community for involving them with anything to have to do with you. Please accept my apology. There you go. Does that work?
Yeah, I was hoping that you would also add another apology. that you would apologize for ever making me aware of this little fuckface's existence.
I do. I humbly apologize for that, because when we first listened to Unirock, he got his shit right a little bit, right? He's getting some stuff right, and then we helped him out. We gave him information. He was running with that, and then as soon as Monty and I recognized that he was willing to lie to his people, and he didn't care, because he's like, I'm going to go on air anyways. It doesn't matter. If I need to change it, fine. But you know what? They'll still listen.
I have a counter offer. I have a counter offer for Unirock. I have a counter offer for Unirock. Hey, Unirock, how about you apologize to me and Sean Hufford for calling both of us scammers while you were backing a fraudster, a person that stole thousands of dollars from the NonSequitur Show and was willing to forge shit to get away with it? Yeah. Why don't you fucking apologize, you piece of shit?
Yeah. Unirock owes me apology. He owes you apology. He owes my community apology. He owes his listeners an apology. And I swear to God, if those listeners accept those apologies, God bless you. Like I said, what the fuck you want to watch? But the single person who wants to take Unirock seriously, that's the person I want to have on this channel to talk to, and I want to ask him, what the hell?
Yeah.
But aren't you a little sad, Red, because he was your good friend who
he was your best buddy.
Yeah, to constantly on every day, talking to him about your most intimate details of problems of your life and everything.
I couldn't believe that even because Chesire, Bullinator, we know Red's pretty well, right?
Yeah. Did you know that? I mean, Unirock was the camera guy. He was the guy that made all of this happen while I was busy fingering my asshole on the webcam. Yeah, I was making $80,000 under the table cash doing that shit, and Unirock was very, very integrated into that process. He was like, no, actually, that's bullshit. No, we weren't friends. Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
No, I knew that when he said that. I was like, something like that. I was like, that's just not right. That's not the case. But he wanted to be.
I'm telling you right now, Uni. You apologize. You apologize for calling me a scammer. You apologize for calling Sean Hufford a scammer. You apologize for being a shitty human being in general while you were busy backing a fraudster and a person that scammed thousands of dollars from the NonSequitur fans and was willing to fraudulently submit forged documents to get away with it. You piece of fucking dog shit. You fucking apologize. And here's the thing. Unirock made the claim that, I'll be more than happy to call out Kyle because I follow where the evidence go. Yeah. I don't make up shit. I don't fucking lie to people.
He'll turn on Kyle.
Unirock, I just want you to know, even if you private your past hangouts, I have them downloaded, and believe me, I will be more than happy to expose that bullshit for you. How about you apologize and I sweep it under the rug? How about you give me the option to forgive you, you piece of shit? Go fuck yourself.
He actually went after Sly Sparkane for a simple comment.
Right?
I mean, I couldn't believe he went nuts, and now he was another scammer as well because he made a simple comment that I think got blocked or something. Sly Sparkane made the most innocuous little video or whatever, and Unirock went in, and Jason just went nuts on him, and then he included him in he was the same as Reds and Steve and all the other people.
There was a reason for that. There was a reason for that. It's because he didn't swallow Unirock's horseshit, and it was the same thing with Furball. He was inviting Furball on, and he was going to have a live conversation that ended up turning into a 3-hour private chat, not live, trying to convince him to buy his bullshit before they went live because he didn't want to get called out on his horseshit in front of his own audience.
Let me say this real quick.
And now Furball is in the wrong. Now Furball is just another flat tard, according to him.
Yeah, BM Furball. Okay, great. Flat tard. No, BM is a smart dude.
The dude couldn't convince him that I was a fraudster or a scammer. The dude couldn't convince him that I was a fraudster or a scammer. So in response, he basically just said, "Oh, fuck Furball, then he's one of them."
So let me do this.
Furball helped me out a few months ago, actually. I had to send something to Korea, and it got stuck in customs there. And I couldn't pay the recipient to receive it on my behalf and then reimburse them. I had to get fucking Furball to contact some Korean guy to pay my little bill and then get my thing through customs.
Wow.
Fucking champion.
Helios, $10.
And he is one of the smartest guys in this community. I just have to say it.
Yeah,
I mean, he really is super smart.
Helios says, the businesses don't turn a profit for X years refers to the recouping of the startup costs, not that they operate in the red for 3 years. I agree with him on that. A business would not survive in the red for 3 years. It really kind of depends on some of the bigger businesses. But yeah, Yeah, I mean, but yeah, it's a lot of the startup costs, which we had really nominal at best. But I'll say this: Unirock's never gonna get a fucking apology for fuck all because nobody owes him one. However, if you were a Unirock follower and you weren't a complete shithead to anybody of my friends, and you offer us an apology, you're probably gonna get it. I'll probably get a acceptance of it if you apologize to us. Again, there were a lot of people that Unirock and Kyle have duped. A lot of people.
He's at the point where he also now needs to apologize to the Non-Sequitur Show fans.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Yes.
How many times?
Basically, Unirock has to apologize for a lot of shit. And here's the thing: calling him out on it feels so goddamn good.
Okay, so let me ask the live chat. Let me ask the live chat. If Unirock apologized to a Non-Sequitur fan as a Non-Sequitur fan, 1, if you would accept it, 2, if you wouldn't accept it, and 3, if you don't think he owes us.
I want to just bring up, if that's the case, I would like to point out that he would have to do the requirements that I gave previously. He would need to apologize, explain how he was wrong, why he was wrong, then retract and rectify it, then try to start to make good before that apology should be accepted. You should be even considered to be accepted.
What is it? What did I say? 1 wouldn't, 2 would. No. What did I say? 1 would, 2 wouldn't, 3. Yeah. Okay. So.
How about this? I would accept his apology if he agrees to fuck off. Basically, just keep my goddamn name out of your mouth, and I'll forgive you.
Well, and here's this. Okay, here's another offer. Any of these motherfuckers that just do not want to talk about me, I will not mention their names. I won't give them a fucking time of day. They want to talk about me, Reg, Cheshire, or anybody that I care about. Done. Go your fucking separate way. Do your things. Enjoy your fucking life on the internet, and stay the fuck out of my life.
It was funny though. It was funny though because a lot of these people seem to be putting out this message that they wanted to spread their wings and fly away, and that's exactly what they did. Well, a lot of them appear to have flown directly to a fucking ceiling fan and landed directly in your lap, Steve.
Oh, dude, I mentioned that earlier. I said, hey, look, you, me, and Bull. By the way, we gotta get Bull in here. We left these shitty fucking people because it's exact goddamn shit, and they're saying,
yeah, I'm here, Steve. They're saying,
they're saying,
what about Bull?
I know that's what I said. We're gotta get you in here, but they're saying, oh well, we left Steve, Bull, and Rez like a scorned lover. I'm like, if you left us, then why the fuck are you still around? Go away.
If you did fuck off, why did you stop?
Yeah, why'd you stop? They're never going to stop.
Move on to the next grift.
These people are so obsessed by me, it's ridiculous. They're never going to stop. I understand this. Trust me. But
remember, I told you about that. Like in Nate's chat. It didn't let's not talk about Kyle's guilt. Let's just say fuck Steve. You know what I mean? That's all it was full of.
Yeah, but like I said, there might be some people that are tired of it and they just won't deal with me and I won't deal with them. Go ahead, Chesh.
They're straight up obsessed. There's a guy that comments on every single one of my videos, every single one, bitching about you, bitching about people getting blocked by you, bitching about Steve, saying that, oh, you're doing all this other stuff, but what about Steve? It's like, dude, you seem a little bit obsessed because half the shit I do has nothing to do with Steve. You want to know how much my South Park playthrough has to do with Steve? One thing. I made the character look like Steve. That's it.
The stick of truth. So, Dave, what do you want to add? Because I know we're going on like over 3 hours, for almost 4 hours here. So, but I want to get you on here for your opinion on everything.
You got 5 minutes. Go.
Oh God, shut up. I just want to say, as the recipient of a lot of charity that was done and was done correctly over the years, for anybody to think that any of these people are anything less than above board, it sickens me. It really does, people. So it's like, come on, you lost your shit, and I really want nothing to do with you. And I really, really wish that when this is over, you would get the Non-Sequitur Show, Steve McRae, and everybody else's name out your goddamn mouth and talk about Katie Joy Paulson until you run out of oxygen, because there's a tree crying because it's giving you the oxygen somewhere.
There's a tree that just his whole life is spent in remorse at the moment.
Right.
Pretty much.
And I think
there is something to be said for this is a perfect opportunity for you to go your own way. It is a perfect opportunity for you to find your lane and stay in it. It is a perfect opportunity for you to go and do whatever content and whatever it is you think you wanted to do, whatever thing you were successful doing before all this, when you all started fighting. Go do the thing. We believe in you.
I have faith in you, brother. Go do your thing, man. Go do your fucking thing. Hang on one second. Let me say this. Unirock. Do the smart thing for the one goddamn thing in your life. Take the fucking out and go the fuck away. But he was, and this was going to happen. He won't. He's not going to do it.
No.
But I want his audience to recognize that we're giving him an out.
We'll see. But let me bring it back to Kyle real quick. I want people to also understand one thing. Kyle has dug himself into a really deep hole, but keep in mind that it didn't have to be that way. Because Kyle had the opportunity to leave the show, give control over to us, and he would still get 50% in perpetuity. I want people to understand that was an offer that we actually made to him, and he didn't take it.
Was going to be some contingency.
Decided to go down this fucking road.
There was going to be some conditions, but we never got that far. But whatever. I mean, but yes, that was a legitimate offer. Yes.
Yeah, that was a legit offer. So basically, you have two options: walk away and get paid, or become a fuckface and get sued for thousands and thousands of dollars to the point where you have forged documents to even have a chance.
By the way, they're talking about Ruhif emailing somebody. Hey, why don't you ask Kyle who he emailed, whose work he emailed? Just recently, like today or yesterday, that the person's getting a restraining order on him. Huh? Why don't you ask about that?
Also, can we please note that Kyle did not dig this hole by himself?
No,
he had people help him with the shovel. They took turns.
But haven't we been saying that all along, that they just enabled him, and it kind of helped us out in the long run because we wanted him to dig his hole. We been saying we want him to dig his hole.
We're going back in time a bit here, but let me say this: before shit really hit the fan, and I mean really hit the fan, I actually had a conversation with Kyle, and I warned him that a certain group of people would fuck him over eventually.
Yes.
They're not the people you want to be around. They're not people that you want in your life. And at the time, Kyle agreed. But what happened? He decided to say, fuck you, Steve. Fuck you, Red. Fuck everybody. I'm going to go with that shitty group of people. And what was the result of that? You getting sued. You basically finding no way out of this shit other than by forging documents. And now you're on the hook for not only the NonSequitur Show, thousands of dollars, but now you're on the hook because you forged the documents to the court. And here's the thing. I don't know this for a fact, but I have a hunch that wasn't just Kyle's idea. Again, I don't know for a fact, but I have a hunch.
I don't have a hunch about that specifically, but I have a very, very, very strong hunch that the plan to have him say that he had moved was not only of his own accord.
There was some fuckery going on with in the background with Kyle. There was some fuckery going on, and here's the thing: I don't believe for a second that the shitty group of people that you and I are referring to were not involved in this. They were involved in some way, shape, or form. I just don't know to what extent, but I know some fuckery was going on. So Kyle, you made your bed. Fucking lay in it.
Even if
Kyle,
he had let
I think the term is wrong move, buddy.
Did it say bad move? I don't remember. What was his exact word? Bad move.
Even if Kyle had just let the default judgment stand, he could have come back at some point because there's so many Steve haters that he could have grifted off of that community for quite a bit of time. That's what Jason does.
Yeah, well, by the way, Jason's still going to try to play this. He's still going to grift off of it. I have no doubt in my mind about that, and he's whatever. I only want to show people that is what he's going to do. And by the way, his numbers have gone down. As soon as Kyle's done, he's got nothing else because that's the only people. Yeah. Half the people watching him is for this shit. Once it's
that's
done,
one of the reasons why Kyle wants to keep this going. He wants the lawsuit to go as long as possible because he knows without the lawsuit, nobody cares.
Right.
He's irrelevant at that point.
He's going to be relegated to obscurity again. That scares the shit out of him. That's one thing that I am convinced he hates the most, that nobody's going to give a fuck about him. Because what happened was, and I even said, look, he'll go onto Discord and he wants people to stroke his ego. right? And you have Omarosa Moon, you had RJ, you had Keon, and a few other people. Oh, Kyle, blah blah blah, and he loves that. He thrives on that. I don't think he's going to have that any longer.
Well,
But,
he's not going to be able to have internet
if you
access
notice
in
that
jail.
Jason has started. He's gone back to Rock a lot now because now he's milking this for his. I mean, now he's doing long streams on Rock a lot again because of all the stuff that is going on.
You know what? I think maybe he might move on though. I mean, I think Jason is all about the green. Once there's no more green to be had, he's going to start milking some other community. This will be a long forgotten thing for him. But I want other people not to ever forget the shit that he did to enable people and how much shit that he actually got wrong. Just like in this hangout here, we showed his last narrative was just absolute bullshit.
Oh, it's only a matter of time because after this shit is over, I plan on ripping him a new one.
That's fine. But anyways,
I think we've got a couple people on a list for dumb fuck of the year that are going to get their assholes ripped open.
I'm going to be ending this.
Can you even do that anymore, Red? I mean,
I'm going to be ending this soon. Ruf, I do have to talk to you for like 5 minutes after we're done. Okay, so got time. It's kind of
super secret meetings.
Super secret meetings.
Secret evidence.
Yep.
And Ruf, did we ever have what the hell? Did we ever have super? Well, do we have any kind of secret evidence? I don't even know what the hell.
Well,
you started that bullshit. I don't know what the hell that even was. You were playing that up.
No, Ruhif, I want to correct something that Steve said. We need to speak to you privately for about 5 minutes after this is done.
You can join too. It's not. Yeah, it's not secret. You want to join too, but it's something about the case I wanted to run by Ruhif. And yeah, you're welcome.
Oh, look who's here, Mikey Famine.
Well, just staying here.
I think you're misunderstanding me. I'm not being invited by you. You're being invited by me.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. You guys can all stay. But I do want to ask some questions. Go ahead.
I heard that there was apologies being given out. Is Unirock going to apologize for calling me a troll?
No, I apologize to the community.
I don't know. Is he going to apologize to me for calling me a liar?
No. Since they're getting tossed out, I was wondering if can I get one of those?
Can you get one of those? There's only so many apologies to go around.
Let me get a double scoop of that in a cup. Yeah. Can I get 2 scoops in a cup? With some chocolate sauce?
Do I get an apology for being accused of possible attempted murder on Kyle?
Oh, glad you brought that up. Thank you very much, Joey. Let me rectify that. Ben had no idea what the fuck Kyle was talking about with that gunshot. He's like, that never happened. Shocking.
Of course. Yeah. Of course. Shocking.
Which means and by the way, there's no police report either on that. What the hell are we looking at here? What is Chess doing here? I'm not complaining, but I just don't understand it.
Who knows?
The chat asked me to stand up, so I figured I'd do a little victory dance.
Oh, it's not that kind of channel. That's the after hours. That's the OnlyFans.
Very much.
It's 10 p.m. and we're wrapping this up after what is going to be a 4-hour stream. Yeah. I'm doing a dance. You can't.
Are you kidding me? I'm wrapping this up right now. So I'm gonna say have a good night, people, and I will talk to you, Steve, and you, Rubiff, after this shit's done.
No, you stay in this hangout. We can all stay in here. That's fine. I'll just end the stream. But I want to thank everybody very much. If you guys got questions, message me directly. I try to get back to everybody they know. Follow me on Twitter and Facebook. And by the way, I want to thank my patrons, especially that have held in there. I know I've lost quite a few. Well, not a huge amount, but I have lost a few, and I do understand it. But there's a lot of things going on. But if you do want to help support the channel, we are going to be putting more content out in here. I just been a little bit quiet for the last couple of weeks, but I do appreciate all my patrons, all my members very much. You never see me go to members chat.
And if you want
Chesire's channel,
dancing, go to my channel.
I was getting there. I got Chesire's links in the video description. She does commissions. She does other things on her OnlyFans, supposedly, that we don't have the link to, but we'll find.
It's all feet stuff.
And Mikey, you got the bin?
Bin podcast. Yep. Love it.
And Bullinator, if you guys need a producer. Bullinator.
I know a guy.
We know a guy.
Yeah.
All right.